Welcome to the...
Find out. Huh?
You bastard! Welcome to the Kind of Gaming Show on chaoticradio.com. This is your host, Andrew. We have a very awesome show going on tonight, but we have the usual co-host with us, Miguel.
Just keep on moving ahead. Don't you love that song, dude?
To be honest with you, I don't know what it's from.
It's from
Sonic Adventure 2.
But I've also never heard the real version.
Okay,
I've always heard it sped up.
I would say I've only played Sonic Adventure 1. So anyway, and then we have Brandon.
What's up?
So you've only played the bad one.
I haven't played any of them.
Damn.
And then we have Connor back there.
Yeah, hi everybody.
Make sure
You sound distant.
Yeah, you make sure and you
He
Probably
is.
on the wrong side of this microphone. Is this? Yeah, that's the side.
That's better, but you're still quieter than.
There we go. Go ahead. And,
Oh, there we
all right,
go.
there we go.
That's
All right.
the one.
And
And we have
control.
yeah, I know I'm in control, which means we're cluster fucked. All right. So we have a very special guest with us this evening. It's 3 a.m. his time, so we want to say thank you for staying up for us. Go ahead and
Thank you.
introduce yourself, my man.
Oh, bored
Oh,
already.
sorry. Hi. My name's Andy. I'm known as Grizzly, Guernsey Gamer or Triple G on YouTube, and it is very early in the morning. How are you all doing?
Great.
Doing great.
I'm fantastic, man. Thank you for joining us.
No problem. Love
Yeah.
to do it.
Yeah.
Except all the problems.
Yeah, exactly. Except all the technical stuff that was going on. There's no problem.
A great intro tune. I was just restraining myself from just singing along to it. 'Cause I was like, this is probably going to cut off in a minute, and I'm going to sound like an idiot.
Don't worry, I
Like
did that
Miguel
for you.
over here, yeah.
All right, man. So, like I said, we got a lot of stuff today. We're going to ask you some questions about your channel and all that stuff. We're also counting down our top 5 Dreamcast games, excluding this beautiful boy over here,
Oh, yeah.
Brandon.
Yeah, boy.
I skipped over that.
Yeah,
Stuck with Sony through those years.
Yeah, exactly.
Ooh.
So,
Dang.
and then at the end, if there's some time left over, we'll talk about some games we've been playing lately. All right.
Okay.
All right, man. So I guess the first question I want to ask you, where'd you get your name from? Like, I feel like that's a hard thing all content creators go through when they first start. How did you come up with the Grizzly Guernsey Gamer?
Well, when I started the channel off, I was actually at uni, second or third year. My mate Jimmy was like, "Oh, have you watched people like Angry Joe and stuff on YouTube?" And you got to understand, when I first got like YouTube, it was about 10 years ago and it was brand new, and I didn't really see it going anywhere because I didn't understand how big it would get. And so I got back into it in about 2014, maybe 15. And I was thinking, I really want to start a channel because I saw people like JonTron and that. And I kept thinking, I need like a catchy name. And I like alliteration quite a lot. Like my series are like the Grizzly Gems, the Grizzly Gauntlets. I'm thinking of possibly doing a new series called Grizzly Garbage, where I talk about really bad games. I don't know what it is about alliteration, but I love it. And so I just remember thinking, I want, obviously, maybe something to do with my location because it's quite unique, an attitude, and the content. So, attitude is Grizzly, like I've been around the block with video games. Guernsey is where I live. Gamer is what I do. So it kind of encapsulates everything into one name, and I think it's all right. Even though whenever anyone goes, "Oh, how do you pronounce the middle bit?" and I'm like, "Oh God, this is a problem."
That's named after a city. That's not just a made-up word that you came up with.
No, it's an island closer to France than it is to the UK, really. But it's about 60,000 people, I think, population-wise. It's like you can drive around the whole place at 30 miles an hour in about an hour. It's tiny.
Wow. So would it be suffice to say that you're the most popular YouTuber from Guernsey?
No, I'm afraid not.
Whoa.
That would go to Rotoshaw, one of KSI's boys,
Damn.
believe it or not. He lived in Guernsey. He was born in Guernsey, I think, but now he lives in the UK because he's one of the sidemen, I think they're called. But also my friend Emma, she does a makeup channel, and she has way more subs than me. I'm like, I hate you. Your eye makeup.
Just start doing makeup. You'll
Yeah,
beat
right.
her.
Yeah, I know.
Then you'll get
So
both crowds.
it's like, hey guys, I'm gonna show you a really cool, Skyrim.
Skyrim
thing.
inspired
We're gonna
mascara.
put the dragons on the cheeks. It's gonna be great. They're like, yeah, one day maybe.
You know, I think I'd be into that. Like, if you do a April Fool's, like, I would so be into that. You're like Skyrim makeup tutorial. That'd
Well,
be
it-
amazing.
Just be dirt on your face
Yeah.
because that's what they did.
Exactly.
Stop, criminal scum. Yes.
So I know you mentioned JonTron earlier. Who were some of your biggest YouTube influences?
Oh my. Well, again, like my friend Jimmy, who was the one who kind of helped get me started on YouTube. We actually did the first Grizzly Guernsey Gamer episode on his channel, which is the Twit Who Entertains, and that was on Thief. You know, the remake of Thief that came out.
Yeah.
Mhm.
We just were messing around because we were, you know, students, and we're like, oh, what are we going to do today? I don't know. And so I remember he showed me stuff like Angry Joe, and then I started to find JonTron, and I actually didn't. A lot of people are like, I bet you watch a lot of Total Biscuit, and I'm like, actually, no, I don't watch any of this stuff.
Hmm.
I get it, and I've watched a few things, but I'm like, not for me. But I like stuff like the Hidden Block guys, the Normal Boots guys, like Peanut Butter
Yeah.
Gamer, Space Hamster, Youngtown,
Subscribe
loads
to
of those
Youngtown.
guys.
Youngtown's insane.
Subscribe to Youngtown.
Yeah.
Subscribe to Youngtown.
Hashtag sub to Youngtown. Actually, I was a patron of his a while back before I moved into my own flat. 'Cause I have to, you know, pay bills and stuff now. And we had a chat on Skype about last year, and he gave me some pointers, and that was quite cool. He's a really nice guy.
Yeah. You know,
Can you
they-
talk twice as fast now? Because that guy can rap.
No, I'm afraid not. But hopefully, I will be doing some music stuff. Hopefully,
Nice.
quite soon. Parody stuff, kind of like Weird Al Yankovic with a bit of Youngtown influence, I suppose.
Perfect.
Fun.
That's awesome, man. You know, I haven't. The only person from Normal Boots I've talked to is Pro Jared. I had the, and the Completionist actually. I had
Oh,
the.
that's it.
Gerard.
Remember
Yeah.
Gerard on likes? You were like, oh, I've met the commissioners. Like, damn you.
Yeah, that's right. You know, I had the opportunity to meet them. They're very nice people. You know, I
Super
kind of.
down to earth.
Yeah, man, they're super cool. So I imagine all of them are like that. I've always, you know, my favorite Normal Boots guy, other than Jared, has always been Icarus. I know it's, I don't know.
Oh,
Anyway.
funnily enough, 2 months ago, September, I went to Eurogamer convention
Mhm.
and I met Caddy before I left. It was literally, I was going to fly back 20 minutes to get to the airport because luckily it's right next to it. And I was like, and I also met Nico. What up, Nico? He does the artwork for a lot of YouTubers. He's done it for like Youngtown, Kid Icarus, blah, blah, blah. And he's just done a commission for me. So it's all bright, new and shiny on my channel. And I was like, I was hoping I would meet Nico. And I'm just walking down the corridor by Mario Odyssey's stand. And there's like Kid Icarus in some shorts and a cap with a backpack. And I'm like, oh. And I just like go, you're James Caddick, aren't you? Hello, I really enjoy your channel. And he's like, oh, hello. And he had a good chat with me. And I was about to leave because I was going to look for Nico. And I was like, oh, he's playing Mario Odyssey, apparently. And I was like, okay, I'll see if I can find him. And so I go around the corner, and Nico goes the other way, apparently. And then Caddy runs after me and taps me on the shoulder and goes, oh, actually, he's come back with my sister Rosie. And I was like, this is surreal. I'm being chased by Kid Icarus. So that was fun. And yeah, also a really nice guy.
He seems like a very small human being in his videos. I know it's a little bit strange to say, but like when you saw him, did he look like a small human being?
Well, I'm 5'9", and he's about I think he's about my height. But Nico, I was surprised that he's like 6 feet, and I was like, you're taller than you look on your webcam. It's like looking down on me.
It's all
But it's good.
deceptive, man.
Mm.
So I have a question. I used to do this on my old podcast whenever we had a guest. So I'm gonna put you on the spot a little bit. If you were trapped on an island and you can only have one game for the rest of your life, what would it be and why?
God. That is a very tough question. I'm clicking the pen.
The hard hitting questions here.
Are
Like,
MMOs
you know,
allowed? Because that's kind of like a
Do you
life
have
within
internet?
itself.
yeah.
Go for it.
I feel like you shouldn't have internet.
Oh, how am I going to get my updates? What if they release a patch?
You only have internet for that game.
Yeah,
correct-
okay, that's
Okay.
fine.
The correct answer is rocksmiths. You can learn how to play guitar and then die and at least be cool.
I've
Jesus.
got Rocksmith, and I still haven't played it. It's probably why I'm still really bad at guitar.
Maybe.
I think this is a tough one. It's probably not quite right, but I would say Dark Souls.
Yes, I
Yes,
was going to
it
say,
was
if you
right.
infinite renewability of New Game Plus.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
And if ever I got really depressed and I'm playing a game where you play as like this
The most depressed
undead
thing ever.
character that's just going for a loop, I might just like be like, I'm just going to walk into the sea and just keep walking. Maybe that's the best way out of this. I've played Dark Souls for so long, I feel like I'm an undead soldier. I'm just going. And maybe not the best outlook of life, but at least it's thematically accurate to what the question was. So that's my
Absolutely.
answer.
Which version though?
I was going to ask which
system?
one, but is it Dark Souls 1 or 3? Because we're just going to exclude 2.
1. And
Yes.
again, I'm a filthy console player,
Yeah.
so I get on Xbox because that's kind of what I do a lot on the channel as well. I tend to see like Kadikarus in particular, like the PlayStation guy,
Yeah.
pushing up roses. She does the DOS games, Space Hamster, and PPG. They do the Nintendo stuff. I'm like, no one does Xbox. That'll be my thing. And I was like, oh, there are a few other people that do Xbox. So yeah, I tend to play a lot on especially with the backward compatibility. I just been playing Knights of the Old Republic on the Xbox One.
Nice.
Brilliant.
Yeah, man. The only
Damn.
other person that I personally know that does mostly Xbox is Angry Joe, but he's not really a part of that circle.
Yeah, he's more like a critique reviewer rather than me, which is just like, oh, a goofy idiot on the internet. It's not quite review. It's more of just like love letters to games I like and just going, and I played this game and I thought it was good. That's the gist of it.
That sounded about like the first 50 of my videos that came out. I like this game for this reason. Now it's only slightly better.
Like it's like that thing where I look at my my oldest videos, because I've had 770 videos on my channel.
Wow.
Because the thing is, I started out as a Let's Player because I got the Five Nights bug. That's why I started in a lot of ways. A lot of my friends were like, oh, have you played this really scary game? And I was like, oh, no. So I recorded it and sent it to my mates. And I was like, actually, this is a bit of fun. And I always wanted to do stuff like JonTron, etc. But I didn't quite have the skill on the editing software. So I went, if I do Let's Plays, and I did 2 a day for a while, for like a year, I'll get better at editing. And then I got to starting with, like, I did my video on Knights of the Republic, my first Grizzly Gem video. And it's like 30 minutes long, and it's got really choppy green screen, and it's very cringe. And like it reminds me of Pro Jared when he goes back to his Two Worlds video, and he's like, "Don't do this in your first video. Don't do this." And it's like, oh, okay, I'm getting that when I'm looking at my old stuff now.
I like that Two Worlds Part 1 and 2 of Pro Jared.
Never played it myself.
I tried playing it.
Yeah, it's not a good game.
I have an actual funny story about Five Nights at Freddy's. Before the first one came out, I was working for the Overshield.com while that was still a thing. And I was at the point where I didn't know what to request and not to request in terms of like review keys and different things like that. So I just had a habit of going on Steam and looking like, oh, upcoming games, and just sending an email to literally everybody. And I would end up with a huge backlog, right? But anyway, I sent one to Five Nights at Freddy's before it released, and Scott Cawthon got back to me. He goes, oh, yeah, here you go. And he gave me like 5 codes for it because he was like not confident that this game would like blow up. And he was like, please give this away. Like, have people do this. And then way later on, I had this tiny bit of an in with him, and my an associate of mine named Steve-O, he wanted to make a Five Nights at Freddy's movie. And I contacted Scott, and I was like, hey, how much would it be for the rights for this film, to be able to do it? And he goes, oh, yeah, man, you can buy it. I'm like, well, how much? He goes, 20th Century Fox offered me $50,000. So if you want to, I can sell it to you for like $55,000. And that was the last time I ever talked to Scott.
Wow, that's crazy. I mean, again, like a lot of people kind of slag off the Five Nights series because it's like there's one every year or several a year, and it's a bit basic. But like, although I will say I did not appreciate 2020 mode on Five Nights 2. That took me like 12 hours, and it was not fun.
It's very fun to watch, if that means anything.
Eh?
It's super fun to watch people do that.
Well, this is the thing. I did like a success video, and then I did like the 5 stages of anger video, which is on the Let's It's like effing and blinding at the TV, caught like, you fucking just like insane. And like then you get to tired angry, and you're angry, but you're so tired you just have this really expressionless face, and you're just like, I need to kill someone, and that's kind of how you deal with it. But like I remember the FNAF World game came out, and that's my highest ranked video, because that game series is so popular. It got like 200,000 views in a week. It's crazy.
Hey everybody, it's Triple G. Now, this is my list for the top 10 games that I played last year. Now, I must say,
Watching the old stuff.
some games that you might think I wouldn't put on this list,
So does that bring you back, man?
Oh man, yeah. It's like even the old like music is like my friend Jimmy had it from like, because I did radio at uni, and it was part of like a pack of songs, and so like most of my videos from my Let's Play stuff, because they have that song, they're all like demonetized, every last one, and it's not fun, especially these days when I've had like about half my Grizzly Gem series flagged, and I'm like, can I have a manual repeal of this? And they're like, only when they get 1,000 views a day. Oh, great.
Yeah.
Oh well.
Yeah, exactly. We've been starting to have that issue a little bid on Ubercrit, which is the channel that we run independently of this show.
Yeah.
I was just about to ask you, if you got hit by the adpocalypse, but I guess that kind of answers that question.
Yeah.
Is it just
But
random?
again,
or?
for me, I make so little money on YouTube. I do it for fun. I mean, I make about $10 a month
It's more than us.
because it's just like a little bit of pocket money every month. Like, oh, I got a tenner. But you only get paid. I only get paid twice a year, because you have to make $60 to get paid or something like that. So for me, I mean, I make the videos more because it's like a project and it's fun.
Sure.
And like I see a lot of people on YouTube, and they're like, I'm getting all my videos demonetized, and you're like, yeah, but you're kind of asking for it sometimes when you got like 10 characters I'd like to fucking video games. Oh, I see, you're doing the clickbait videos, and that's why you're angry, because your video's got like Peach's bum in it or something, and they've gone, that's not appropriate.
Yeah.
And they've taken it down.
Yeah, I thought it was really funny. Jared says that the censored version of his top 10 dicks in gaming got demonetized, but the uncensored
not the
one
normal
is
one.
ad friendly.
Wow.
Well, I think the
That's
other
brilliant.
one's funnier anyway, because he uses his face to
Yeah.
censor everything, and that's way better than just a floppy dick.
But it's funny that they're basically saying Jared's face is more offensive than dicks.
I know. That's probably the placement of the dicks or the faces.
It might
on
be the
dicks.
neck wrinkles in that particular face he does. It's
Maybe.
like,
Yeah.
and neck skin looks a bit suspect, like side boob, but for your neck.
Oh boy. All right, man. So last question I personally got for you. Then I'll open it up and see if anyone else does. If they don't, well, they can go. Oh, by the way, you can curse. They can go fuck themselves.
I'm always a bit cautious, because I used to swear occasionally on radio in Luton. We had like a license, and I'd get the manager just staring at me through the glass like, I'm going to kill you. Like, sorry, I just slipped out.
All right, man. So you don't have to tell us. That's perfectly fine, right? But if you can
I
you
like
let,
this question.
Oh yeah. Can you let us know maybe some upcoming content you have for your channel? Can you give us a little sneak peek, a little bit, an exclusive to Chaotic Radio, if you will?
Okay, well, I thought this might pop up, so I've actually prepared one, which is
Oh, boy.
actually every year I do 2 themed months of content. So, like for example, last year I did Dark Souls month, and everything that month was Dark Souls.
Oh.
I did Western month, so it was all cowboy games. I played like Call of Juarez, Red Dead Redemption, did like the top cowboys and video games, etc. This year I've already done what was it? It was comic month, so I did like Batman, Spider-Man, blah blah blah. And I can confirm this month, which will be going online tomorrow, is the other game themed month. Drum roll, please. There we go, and it is going to be Metal Gear Solid month. And every week there will be a new Metal Gear Solid video, hopefully 1, 2, 3, and 4. And if I've got the time, a Metal Gear Solid 5 video of a brand new series, which I'm going to call such and such video games. This will be Metal Gear Solid 5 Broke My Heart. And this is hopefully starting a new series plus 4 proper videos for this month. So there you go. That's for you.
I need to know what broke your heart about
Metal Gear.
MGS5.
It's going to be a series about like this game series I love, and this game kind of broke my heart / ruined it for me.
Oh, it's so sad. I love that game so much.
Well, that's the thing. I love it, and I also really, really despise it. I love it as a game, but I hate it as a Metal Gear Solid game because I love the series. Like I got the bloody
fair.
Foxhound logo tattooed on my arm. I love that game so much. I'm like,
Nice.
oh,
okay.
5, no, please don't, no.
I have a
Breaking
Dark
my-
Souls tattoo, so if they screw up that, I'll be in the same boat.
Where's your
Yeah,
It's on my hand.
The Artorias.
It's Artorias.
Oh, that's
on my
right,
hand.
yeah,
I was really hoping when you were saying that you were gonna do a Metal Gear Rising Revengeance video because I
Ooh.
fucking love that game.
I've been
Oh,
trying to find
I
it
did
again.
debate it, but like it was like originally I was like maybe I'll do because usually I do 1 gem and 1 gauntlet, and the gems are the ones I love, the gauntlets are the ones I've never played before, and I was like maybe I'll do 1 and I'll do Revengeance, and I thought well I still haven't played Metal Gear Solid 4 because I didn't have a PS3 for ages, and so there's going to hopefully be 3 gems, 1, 2, and 3, and then 4 will be a gauntlet, but hopefully in the future, maybe even next year, I'll do Revengeance. That'll be my promise to you. Next
Alright.
year.
Perfect.
Just for you, I'll do Revengeance because I do have it. I just haven't got around to playing it yet.
All right, perfect. So next year around this time, if you don't have it, I'm just gonna send you that little audio clip.
Just gonna just be like, you lying scumbag.
Yeah, exactly. You can either do that or you can do a video on Mary Gear, whichever you prefer.
Married
Okay.
Gear?
Mary Gear.
Mary
What the
Gear.
fuck is that?
It's a Metal Gear game. It's a fan-made Metal Gear style game that you play as
We have to
Santa.
sneak around and
you
get
play-
married to people secretly?
No, Mary as in like Merry Christmas.
Oh, I get you. They were
Mary
just gonna
Gear.
marry people secretly,
Gear.
like you sneak up behind them.
We're married. There seems to be a Christmas tree. I'm going to use it as a box.
That's actually pretty good. All right.
God, crap pedal.
Grab battle.
All right, so I'm going to open it up. Does anyone else have any questions for Mr. Grizzly Guernsey Gamer?
I had one when I was looking through because I was watching, videos, and I saw there's videos that are gems, and then there's videos that are gauntlets, and
Yeah.
I was assuming the gauntlet meant that it was more gems because it's the Infinity Gauntlet, and
Oh shit! I've really confused everyone now. Is it basically what is the gauntlet? Because I get that question a few
the
times. 'Cause
gauntlet
it's a bit.
between the gauntlet and the gem, yeah, because it's like when I was watching them, it seemed like they were both praising and analyzing, but then I was
Well,
like, wait a second.
The main premise is the gems are games that I love that I've played for a long time, and I know the gauntlet is like running the gauntlet, and
Uh-huh.
those are games I've never played before, and it's my
Ah.
first time playing it. So yeah, so a lot of people have been like, it's really confusing, but I mean, I even tried this thing with like the gauntlet where I always wore the same jacket just so it was differentiating it from the other one. But it's kind of I couldn't think of another name that was alliteration like the first impressions that doesn't have a G in it. I
Yeah.
can't use that, so it had to be the gauntlet.
I get you. See, at
Yeah.
first I was looking at it because when I was watching the Shadow of the Colossus one, that one's a gem, and then right after, what was it? I think was it Red Dead Redemption was a gauntlet.
No, that's the thing. Red Dead was a gem,
Okay,
and
I got 'em
Shadow
backwards.
Colossus because I'd
Yeah.
never played it.
Okay, yeah,
And
I got it
I
backwards.
it was when I got the PS3 and I was like, I'm gonna finally play this game that I've wanted to play for ages. And then they were like, last month, we're re-releasing it on
Re-releasing.
PS4. Oh come on!
Yeah.
I could have waited, played it with like better graphics.
Yeah, maybe they won't have the wonky arms of Wander.
Yeah. Back with the old. And that's the thing. Like that one was one of the last videos. Like one of my favorite videos is my Journey video, which is PS3
Oh.
one.
Fucking love
Um,
that game.
Because the thing was, I timed it with when I was moving out of my parents' house because I finally got enough. I got like my job sorted out with the money, and I actually am now I'm a sole renting person in a flat, and it's like a two floor flat.
Oh, nice.
Congratulations.
And it's like I've made a recording space, and so that video I themed it around. I'm moving all my stuff into boxes, and I incorporated it into the video. So like halfway through the video, you're seeing me like put all the games in the boxes, and then the video ends with me. I'm wearing the scarf the whole video, and then I've got like this empty lounge, which now is the set that I use, and it's like kind of like a transitional phase for the channel. And I really enjoy those kind of videos where I can like share a little bit of what I'm going through in my life and incorporate it into a video game, and that's one of my favorite videos, that one, and no one's bloody watched it. So I was like, oh, damn.
So should we be concerned if you ever do a video on Postal?
I'm really cross today. Let's talk about Postal 2. Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
Nobody's
Or
watching the
map
fucking Journey video.
Right, what was that game
I-
that came out like a year or two ago? Like Hatred or something like that?
Yeah, that was like last year.
Yeah, that got so much flack.
Where you
over-
play as Reaper and just kill people in their houses.
Yeah, exactly. So if we ever see a video on that or Postal 2, we know Mr.
What's going
Triple
on.
G is...
He's going around peeing on people
He's being a
and chopping their
little
heads
cross.
off with shovels.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
All right, so thank you so much for that, man. We're going to go ahead and jump into our top 5 Dreamcast games
Oh.
now.
Play the Dreamcast sound.
I've got more.
Oh.
Nice. All right. So actually, since you're the guest, if you have any, by the way, if anyone has any honorable mentions, go ahead and say that first. If you have an honorable mention, Mr. Triple G, go ahead and you can go first. You have the floor.
Okay. So should I pick the one that's my favorite, or kind of lead up to that? Because that's the thing. I've got.
Countdown. So I'm like 5th best, 4th best.
Okay. Well, I'll do the honorable mention first, and that
Sounds
is
good.
Sonic Adventure. Because here's the thing. I really loved playing that game when I was younger, but looking back on it, I'm like, this is really not a good game. It's like pretty like, Froggy, where are you, Froggy? And just like, I'm going to catch a frog for like 20 minutes in the lake. Oh, this is fantastic. And then you got like Gamma, who's quite fun to play as, and yes, Sonic Adventure's okay. It's a weird one.
Can feel the sunshine.
No.
Really fun music though. Like I might do a video on Sonic Adventure in the future because I've got a brilliant skit in mind for the song you started the show with, because it's just such a brilliant just opening tune. But I won't spoil it.
Wait, was that in both games?
It was in 2. Yeah.
Oh, it was in 2, yeah.
Yeah.
Bollocks. I was going to do a gem on Sonic Adventure 2
Yeah,
because it has that song in it that I knew it was in the second one. Promise.
Yeah.
Totally.
yeah,
No,
sure,
for I
man.
believe you.
All right. So my honorable mention is a game called Ready to Rumble. It was a
Oh.
really fun, cartoony boxing game.
Yeah, I played. That's good.
It's good. It's good, man. Just didn't quite make my list in terms of the top 5. Super fun. It was kind of when I was really young, I wasn't super into sports games. I think that was the one that kind of bridged the gap because I've always liked fighting games, and so it was kind of like a natural transition into me enjoying sports games. Which, we know, I believe I'm one of the few on the panel here that enjoys like almost all sports games. So.
Fair. That's fair.
All right. And we're nice, man. All right, we're going to go with Miguel.
It's only an honorable mention because I didn't really play it at home a lot. Played it as an arcade. We mentioned that before the show. Is Marvel vs. Capcom 2.
Gonna take
Oh.
for a ride.
Yeah, also, I
Brilliant.
didn't want to pack my list with too many fighters. And it's like, that was the one I didn't play on Dreamcast anyway.
Oh, you're gonna be disappointed with my list then.
For sure. Yeah, Dreamcast had a lot of good fighters.
Yeah,
Well,
it did.
as we'll see.
Fantastic.
I'll pass
Yeah.
it. There it is. Sorry to squander your work, Connor, but I'm going to go ahead and pass it to Brandon.
Well,
No, we'll just crank it up. No.
yeah, that's better than mine.
Matter of fact, let's just do that for the rest of the show.
Because I had never played a Dreamcast.
Oh, yeah, right.
Yeah.
Connor, it's your turn.
Well, I'll just say one game because
Huh.
Sword of the Berserk, yeah, Guts' Rage.
I saw that on when I was like scrounging the list of Dreamcast games, and I was like, "What the fuck did I play again?"
Yeah, it's
And I was like,
Berserk
oh,
and
yeah,
it's
there was-
exclusive. It's really cool. I've watched a lot of cutscenes from it. Some of the gameplay could be better, but whatever.
Yeah,
No, I kind of had the same experience you did, Miguel. Like, I only played a few games consistently, and I just played them a lot.
yeah,
And
oh,
that
yeah.
made me think I
Oh,
played a lot more Dreamcast than I
And
actually
then you're like,
did.
no, I didn't. I actually did play quite a bit of Dreamcast, and the fighting games are what put this as an honorable mention instead of actually being. It's Shenmue. Like,
yeah.
I very much
Ooh.
liked Shenmue, but it's just there was other games that beat it out. And who has played Shenmue?
I have.
Hey,
Hey, there you
I've
go.
watched a lot
My-
about it.
Watched a lot.
Because my sister was the one who had the console, and I just like I with that one in particular, I used to watch her, and I'd be like, "This is stupid. You're just like buying toys in little capsules." And then I played, and I was like, "Oh, there's other bits. Okay."
Yeah,
Sounds like Yakuza.
Nice.
Those Yakuza games are like that.
yeah. Yakuza definitely got a lot of inspiration from Shenmue.
I can tell.
So it's an open world game. It's fun. It was there was like a tease of Shenmue too.
You mean Shenmue 3?
3, yeah, that's what I mean.
I was just
You know what
about to ask, as since you two have played it, are you guys excited for Shenmue 3? I know that someone like I watch a lot of the Happy Console Gamer, and Shenmue 3 is something he talks about all the time. Like it's like a dream game. Is that something for you two also, or is that just him because he's weird?
It's one I'm like excited for. I definitely am like, let's do this. Shenmue 3.
I don't know. I'm a bit jaded with like long sequels like Duke Nukem Forever. We're never getting Half-Life 3. It's
Yeah,
like the
that's
longer
true.
a game takes to produce, I'm always like, oh, I hope it's okay. Not even good. I'm like, hope it's just adequate because honestly, I'm losing a lot of faith with these series. But I
Yeah.
played 2 on the Xbox as well, so I played both of them, and I did like them. But I think there are games I prefer than that series, so it wouldn't be the end of the world for me if it was like, oh, it was bland. Oh well,
Yeah,
it would just be a
that's
passing
kinda
thing.
how I feel.
By the way, kind of unpopular opinion, I didn't think Duke Nukem Forever was a bad game. I just think it was severely overhyped, and people had really astronomical expectations of it.
Yeah, I mean, I played it and the DLC, and it wasn't like I picked up the game and I was like spitting teeth. I was like,
It's fine.
but it was just like quite ugly looking. That like the bits we were in like the toy car were quite annoying. But other than that, it was just like, yeah, this is just I can turn my brain off and shoot monsters. It works.
Yeah,
It's fine.
exactly. Like if 5 is an average game, I'd probably give Duke Nukem Forever like a 5.5. Like it's slightly above average to me because it works as a shooter, but it's also a little funny.
It just didn't have enough killing for me. It didn't have enough fighting. Like Doom 2016 knocked it out of the park.
Oh yeah.
Not enough boobs for you.
There was plenty of boobs. that wasn't the problem in Duke Nukem Forever. For me, it was just there was a lot of moments where
scumbags taking on my babes.
Wow. Do you have a soundboard?
No, that's my voice.
I know. That's a joke.
Can you can you do Christian Bale's Batman?
Batman.
Close enough.
I didn't really watch much Batman, but still, I prefer Tom Hardy as Ben. Break your butter. Like, nice work, Tom. Go back to Mad Max. That was you were good in that.
I think I prefer College Humor's Batman voice.
Or Adam West.
First time that one of us has stuck 9 hard inches into the other's ribs.
Adam West though kills. It's like sometimes there's just nowhere you can throw away a bomb.
All right, man. So what is your number 5?
I've got like a list of them on my monitor, and I'm looking through them, and I'm like, here's the thing. I'd like to say Legacy of Kain Soul Reaver, but I only played like the first level as a demo, so I can't technically say that. So I'm gonna have to say JoJo's Bizarre Adventure
Wow.
because that was so cool to play.
I didn't know they made
loved
a
that
game of that.
Yeah, dude. I wish I were old enough to like be aware of JoJo back then.
Wow, Berserk and JoJo on the same console. That's crazy.
Right?
Well, that's the thing. I still don't really know. Like everyone's going mad about like a new meme about it's like Nani, and then it's like that's from JoJo's apparently the series, the anime. But I remember playing the game and I was like, I didn't know there was a series. I thought it was just a game. Oh, okay.
It was, yeah.
But it
It's
was
a
a
great
really good
series.
fighter.
So it was a fighting game, like a head-to-head fighter?
Yeah, it reminds me a lot of kind of like Marvel vs. Capcom, the cartoony version, not the new stuff, because it had a very similar art style, or like Street Fighter Alpha, very stylized, very fun, especially like the super moves they had, and it was really good fun. I can't remember much about it because it was so long ago that I played it, but I did get a kick out of it. Like I think I just played as the main character JoJo, but there was a good roster, there was some good moves. It was okay.
All right.
Sweet. I need to look that up.
All right. Cool, man. So we're going to go ahead and my number 5, again, so before I was like halfway into the sports world. Now I'm fully cocked into it,
Oh,
as they would say. NFL Blitz.
nice. Okay, that's a good one.
Like if you wanted a fast-paced, super fun football game that you could play with non-sports fans,
And
it's
then just
NFL Blitz.
Fuck people up after you tackle them.
Yeah,
It's really fun.
playing that game had some of my favorite memories of the console, just hanging out with friends. Now, granted, I think actually all but one of the games on my list are games I would hang out and play with my friends. Like this console to me was a very much hang out, go on the couch, and just play.
I feel like even a lot of the single player games were ones that you could have a friend there and be like, hey, do that,
Yeah.
do that.
You know, I remember the very first time I ever saw Resident Evil, it was my childhood friend Dakota, and he was playing, I think, Resident Evil 2 on Dreamcast. And I remember he showed me the controller, and it was the first time I ever saw the console, and I was tripping out over the little screen that was in the middle of the controller.
Oh, yeah, the memory card has
Yeah,
that.
the memory card, and like it showed like a little image of the game, and it was blowing my mind.
Wow, this is the future.
Yeah, it's the future. Exactly. But yeah, no, NFL Blitz, like it's a perfect port of the arcade game, which anytime I see NFL Blitz in an arcade and I have some homies with me, like it's going down.
Dude,
at least
we're
for one
playing this.
quarter. Right? But yeah,
1 quarter or 1 quarter?
both actually.
I think
I must say though, I do like the fact that your friend's name was Dakota. That's a proper American name.
Yeah.
So it was over here. It's like, what's your name? My name's Tim. Oh, cool.
What now I have to ask, what's like a typical, like you say Dakota is an American
Well,
name.
you just
What's
said
a
Tim.
Yeah.
Tim's a Guernsey name?
Well, I mean, the thing is, Guernsey's got a lot of French because it used to be French, and then the British came and they like murdered them, basically. And then
As they do.
most
you know,
of the
but there's
world.
there've been people in Guernsey since like Neolithic times. We have like the old sites, what they called the like burial sites, the Neolithic ones. Plus, we were invaded by the Nazis in World War II, so we also have like the fortifications. It was like the only place of Britain that was ever captured by Hitler, and so we got like some weird inspiration for like names of places. So, for example, like we get a lot of people like Le Prévost or Le Cheminot. There's lots of French names, but like main names, not really like a consensus.
I was gonna say
I don't know, but like when you hear like Dakota, I'm like, I've not heard that name before. Oh, that's quite interesting.
Yeah, you get a lot of weird names nowadays in America. Like people
Yeah.
name their kid
Daenerys.
and Daenerys.
Daenerys.
Yeah, right.
Or
But that's
Dax.
not just us.
No, Dax. My I don't know what you would call him. My cousin has a baby, named him Dax.
Yeah, like Dax.
Yeah,
yeah,
Shepard.
like Dax Shepard, the
I don't know.
movie star.
You don't know Dax
Sure,
Shepard? That's
sure.
a name already.
Awesome.
Your cousin didn't come up with it.
I know they
Oh,
didn't,
no.
but I think his middle name is also something from like Star Wars.
Didn't
Dax
isn't-
Drax.
Didn't you say that if
Guardians.
you and Captain have a kid, you want to name her from someone from Mass Effect?
Tally.
Tally.
Nice.
Yeah.
Fair.
Tally Zora Vas Normandy.
Yes.
Yeah, that's the full name.
The whole thing.
That's just the
like,
middle
what was
name.
your-
Have the
just
have
doing like
everything,
a
yeah.
register at class, like Tally Zora Vas Normandy.
And that's
Anywhere?
her. That's
No?
that's her first name.
No, that's just the
Yeah,
middle
Ruined
name.
her life with the passport. You know,
We
just
were-
like this massive scroll of text across. Like we needed 2 pages to put it on. Oh, cool.
Yeah, we were saying it would just be Tally, and then the middle name would be Zora Nar, and then just the last name.
So if you guys have like, would it be Vasnar Ford? Like if
Ford?
you.
My
like-
last name's Amaya. What are
No,
you
I know, but I'm talking
about?
about like if you were driving a Ford at the time. At home, because they're always named after
Well,
their vehicles.
They're named after the ship that they
Tally
live
Zora
upon.
Vas
It's like the family
Daihatsu.
they're in.
Yeah. fine.
Oh, okay. So what would you consider? Would you consider that your house
You
or
just-
the place that you live?
I would imagine you just go with the house
So, like, with-
name Amaya.
Oh, okay. I was hoping that their last name would be Colton.
Colton, just the city.
That's actually not a bad name, Colton. If you think about it.
As a first name?
Why wouldn't you
No,
just
that's
go
a last middle name
Why
or
would you
last
just go
name.
with Colt?
No, but it, I don't know.
There
Colton.
are people named Colton.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's
we're going off the rails
Way
here.
off.
Yeah, either way.
Way the
All right,
fuck off.
Miguel, what's your number 5, man?
Hold on, I gotta. Oh yeah. This one. So my 5 and 4, I had to draw from ports because I didn't actually play them on Dreamcast, but I love the fuck out of them. First one being Gauntlet Legends.
oh yeah,
Oh,
oh
yeah.
hell yeah.
Great game.
I played on N64 primarily, but
Played that on PS2, man.
yeah,
PS.
I loved it. I played the fuck out of it. I don't think I ever beat the second level.
It's tough if you don't have a team. Like it's
It's
fun to
fucking
play with
brutal.
people.
That
It's
game-
super fun with people, but by yourself,
It's
It's
super
pretty good.
fun, man, but it has not aged well.
No, really.
No, man.
I haven't played
because-
since PS1.
Because
so.
like you play it and it's just like you just throw things. There's no
Yeah.
real combat. Like it just doesn't feel good anymore.
it's a dungeon crawler. It's fun
Like,
with friends.
the Gauntlet sequel that came out on PS2, fantastic. Like great combo oriented combat. It was really fun. The original Gauntlet has not aged well. Though I do
That's not the original.
no,
the original was like NES, right?
well,
yeah.
you know, I'm sorry. That
The
version.
Gauntlet
Legends.
Legends.
It's the first.
Gauntlet
It's the
Legends.
first 3D Gauntlet.
Yeah, my apologies.
Very cool. I didn't know it was on the Dreamcast though. 'Cause
Yeah,
I
I
played on
didn't either.
PS1.
I played it on 64.
Wow, it was
I
everywhere.
played on PS2.
They just dipped in everywhere.
It's a good game.
It's a good fucking game.
Yeah,
Don't play it.
I'm not denying it. I just don't think it's aged well.
Yeah, but as a child,
neither-
I couldn't tell you much about the game other than chicken. I
Mm,
love that
chicken.
Fucking, yeah, fucking announcer. He's the best. Go ahead, Connor.
Oh wait. Oh yeah, that's right, Brandon.
Yeah, he doesn't have any. He's
He
just
ain't
gonna be
got
berserk
shit.
every time.
All right. Well, we'll just go on the list here, and it's Street Fighter 3 Third Strike.
Yeah.
I should have known.
Yeah. That game fucking rules, dude. Like out of Street Fighters, that one was really good. Like I played probably 2 more than any of them. Probably play 4 a lot, but 3 was like, that's the Street Fighter, man. That's the one I just love the most.
I feel like that one for a long time held the most tournament time, if that makes
It
sense.
Really?
still has tournaments.
Yeah,
I
that's what
thought
I'm saying.
2 was still the most popular. Always has been.
Third strike.
Third Strike is like competitive fighting. That's like
Wow.
how it rocks, man.
Yeah.
No idea.
You know, I didn't play that on Dreamcast. I got the port of it on 360, and I immediately I had Xbox Live at the time, so I'm like, oh, let's play online. That was a horrible decision.
You just got wrecked to Rooney.
I got destroyed, and I'm just like, you know what? I don't think I want to play this, and I don't think I've played it since actually.
Yeah.
That great game though, and there's characters on Third Strike that still haven't come back.
Yeah, there is.
What's it?
There's a lot. There's like main characters that are not coming back in Street Fighter 5.
I've noticed that. It's really irritating.
Yeah,
Yeah, man.
it is. But
It's
I love it.
is that the game? I don't know which Street Fighter is, but there's one where there's like robot. Like, is it Q? And he wears like a trench coat and a metal
Yeah.
head. He's
Yeah.
got like metal head. Is that the one he's in? Because he's only in one game, and I was like, oh, I want him again. I don't want Bison. Like Ryu, I'm going to destroy. No, I want Q. I want the robot guy. He didn't say anything.
I mean,
He was way bad.
I feel like Q reminds me of that dude from Fallout 4.
Oh yeah,
Nick.
Valentine.
yeah, Nick Valentine.
Was that on purpose? You think?
No.
Maybe.
If it was made by Capcom, maybe.
No.
But
No, just as
Bethesda.
an homage or like a tribute or something.
I don't
Because
think
the
so.
design, granted, I haven't played it. I've only seen other people
Fallout
play it.
4?
Yeah.
Oh, that's a huge
Um,
part is about synthetic humans.
Yeah, but I've only seen him in
Sims.
passing. But in my head, I'm like, they look very similar. Though,
No.
Fucking dirty.
they very
Sims.
much do
Yeah.
look the same.
do
yeah.
they?
Yeah, they look very close to. Like, I don't think it's a reference.
Yeah, it's
but
probably not because the whole synthetic human is the main plot of Fallout 4.
But someone could see
Could,
that and
yeah.
be like, oh, that's a nod to.
Yeah, there is always the
Yeah.
occasional. It was in the back of their mind. They just didn't remember where it was from.
So maybe if you
Yeah.
asked the character designer for him, they'd
And
be
he-
like,
He's
did
like-
you get inspiration from this?
And he's like,
And then-
"Oh shit, I did."
Todd Howard's like,
For
no, this is
copyright
mine.
purposes, I cannot answer that question.
Here, take another copy of Skyrim.
Yeah.
Buy it again.
All right.
Have
So
you checked out
Ooh,
Skyrim on your
Skyrim.
mobile?
Skyrim coming for the Sega Genesis.
Wow.
maybe if they made a 16-bit version of Skyrim, it would finally be a good game.
It was always a good game. Just shut up.
Oh, we're getting into harsh territory now. We're getting into. Oh, this is quite early to be like
Them's are
hey,
fighting
starting
words,
fights.
Andrew.
Not everybody likes my favorite games.
Yeah, I know.
I don't
It's
expect you to like Skyrim.
How long ago was it that we got into the whole Bethesda thing? Was that last week or the week before?
two
It's like
weeks
every
ago, I think.
episode, man.
No, but we did our last half hour about Bethesda.
Oh, that was not last week.
It was
the
2
week
weeks
before?
ago.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right, man. So we only have about 7 minutes before we need to take a break.
Yeah.
Play some commercials. The people that keep the building running.
Keep the
But
lights on.
yeah, that thing too. Before we go, man, for the break, let's go ahead and try to get through your number 4, my man.
Okay, my number 4. There's a lot of fighting games being mentioned today, but this is one of my favorite series because you don't use your fists, you use weapons. I
know what
like
this is.
Soul Calibur.
Yes, sir.
Yay! I didn't know that was on the Dreamcast either.
Oh yeah, the first
Damn.
I
one.
think you would like
certainly was.
Dreamcast a lot more than you
Yeah,
think.
because I
Brendan.
never had one. It came and went, and then I was like, okay. I didn't have any friends that had one.
What'd you play Soul Calibur on?
What, 360?
So you got in kind of late.
Yeah.
Well, not really. It wasn't like the
Wait,
third one.
hold on. Was it
That was
Soul?
3 and 4.
Was it Soul Calibur or Soul
fine.
Edge?
No, Soul Calibur.
Soul Edge is
Calibur, I
the
think.
weapon that's in Soul Calibur.
Dummy.
No, but the first
The
game
first
wasn't
one was
called.
Soul Edge.
Yes, it was.
but
It's
I
called
think-
Soul Calibur.
It's Soul Calibur.
I'm pretty sure it was
On
Calibur.
Dreamcast, yeah, it's
Mhm.
totally Soul Calibur.
It's Soul Calibur, dude.
It was-
Soul Edge
You
is
got like
the
Nightmare and
is the word that Nightmare
Cervantes. I was
uses.
like, I look Cervantes.
If there's a game called Soul Edge, it's not Soul Calibur.
Yeah.
Fandom.
Soul Edge
powered
is a
by
fighting game
Wikia.
developed by Team Project Soul and published by Namco. Originally released as an arcade game, it was ported to PlayStation.
Wow.
So it is a Soul Calibur game. It came out before.
Oh, so it's before.
Well, that's
Soul
not what he's
Calibur.
talking
Yeah,
Talking
we
about
sold
series.
Edge, then it turned into Soul Calibur.
Yeah.
afterwards.
Okay. Anyway, go ahead. Why is it your number 4, man?
Well, I just like it was the first fighting game I played where I was just like, oh, they figured it out. You can use swords to kill people rather than punch them to death. Thank you. Like I remember when I used to play Super Street Fighter on the SNES, and I was just like, Bison just needs to like instead of trying to punch the enemies to death, just get a gun or at least like an axe. That will be quicker. And then you get Soul Calibur, and there's like Cervantes flinging around 2 swords, and Nightmare with like a sword bigger than his head and his torso, and you're like, that's what I'm after. And I just love the music in those games and the environments, and the character design was a lot more interesting than a lot of fighter games. You know, you got this pirate, and then you got this guy in like full chainmail, then you got Ivy, who's just like a slut with like a whipped sword. Like, yeah,
Nice. Hey, man, she's not particularly sexually active on screen.
You don't know what she
You
does.
don't know, yeah.
But then you got like Baldo, who's just like crawling around like mostly naked, and you're like, this is an amazing game, but it disturbs me. And it was great.
I think
love
it's
Soul
best
Calibur.
that Voldo could go on his back and just start thrusting into
Yeah.
the air.
Oh, yeah.
It was a pretty fun imagery.
My
Thing in the Soul Calibur.
Yeah, when I was really young, I was playing Soul Calibur on PlayStation 1.
And your mommy said, "Stop it."
Well, my father's wife. So not to get too personal, but right, I rarely ever saw him. I was over there, and my brother-in-law had Soul Calibur going, and she came in and she saw Yoshimitsu.
I like
Right,
Ah,
she saw Yoshimitsu. Yeah, Yoshimitsu's in Soul Calibur.
He's also
Tekken.
No, both.
Oh,
Yeah,
sounds
both.
like
Yeah,
thinking Tekken. Like, hold on.
No, both. Man. Right, and she saw him meditating to recover health, and she was a huge religious person, and it was no longer allowed to be played in the house anymore.
Not
because
the
she was,
sexy people.
No, because there was someone meditating, and that doesn't go right with God.
Not because of the
But the sex is
BDSM
okay.
freak.
Yeah, well, she
Yeah.
saw that, and she saw like ogre or like
See,
that big.
So she was mad about him meditating, but not that it looks like he's just dual handing his dong.
That's what,
No.
no, that's what
Yeah.
she thought it
Yeah.
was, right?
No,
No,
he's-
meditating, as
Oh,
in
it was
like,
the- what?
as in like he was going there, like going like and she was just like, no,
Yeah, it
this
looks like he's
doesn't.
double fisting.
It was
jacking
never
off,
played
and it's
again in that
like,
house. I don't remember going there again after that weekend.
You're just
interesting.
like, I'm done.
Fuck that bitch.
I know this has nothing to do with Dreamcast, but there was a game on the PS1 called Streak, and it's called Streak. So going up to people going, "Hey, have you played Streak?" They're like, "Yeah, I've streaked. I've streaked before." It's a racing game with hoverboards, and it was awesome. But trying to
Ooh.
talk about that in like the schoolyard was not. It was really difficult.
I can imagine. All right, so we have about 2 minutes left. I'm gonna go ahead and hit my number 4 really quick. My number 4 is also a port. It is Hydro Thunder.
Oh,
Yes.
I didn't know that was there either.
Yeah, I
Oh,
only
man.
played that in arcades as well.
They just put an entire arcade on a console and called it the Sega Dreamcast.
Yeah, right.
Kinda.
Okay.
No,
fair
but
enough.
you know, fantastic game. A great soundtrack in terms of racing. It's smooth. Like, it's one of the few games where you are mostly on water and it actually feels good. Like,
I wouldn't say mostly. I'd say the entire game is
Yeah,
racing
well,
on water.
I mean, there are times where you go in the air.
Yeah, you
and
go
you're-
jumps,
And
but you're
ramps
not
and everything. Yeah, like
racing in air.
Like I said, the majority of it.
Okay.
Right. I'm just saying it controls on water and it actually feels good, and it's fantastic in almost every aspect.
It's a
yeah,
good
you
one.
spend a fair amount of time jumping off of waterfalls and shit.
Yeah, but you know,
Like
You're
it's
bored.
probably like 90.
you can say that
95%.
about like Super Mario 64. Like you run around on the ground sometimes because most of the time you're jumping around in the air.
I guess. But anyway, that's the thing. All right, man. So we have to take a quick commercial break. We will be right back with the second half with the Grizzly Guernsey Gamer, and
Yeah,
we're
boy.
gonna go ahead and can finish our list.
Yeah,
So we'll be back in probably 4 or 5 minutes.
it'll be fun.
Cool.
All right, so we're still live on YouTube. I just want to let you know we're Mr. Gamer. We're gonna be back in about 4 minutes. Go ahead and please stay on the line, okay?
Okay, I'm just gonna go grab a quick glass of water, just so I'm not all like while I'm chatting.
All right, sounds
Perfect
good,
timing.
man.
Right, see you in a bit.
Yep.
Let's see. Actually, I'm just gonna pull up Marvel vs. Capcom. Let me. I'm gonna go ahead and make the next radio thing. I'm gonna throw in another one of these actually.
Remember did you put a stinger when you went off the air?
Yeah, there was one that was thrown there.
All right.
And then I need a stinger coming in, right? But I could just
And I'm back.
just play it, yeah. Okay. Yeah, just get that there.
I don't think it's gonna take 3 minutes. DRP? No. He's already done.
It caught my eye, and then I looked at the remote sign on it, and then I realized it's just the stuff on my eyeballs, and then I put it on, and you see even more with the UV light. And what do you do? I don't think I'm doing anything. I go shopping. I'm one of the board games. I particularly want to go for shopping.
I like board game shopping.
Man, I wish I had it. Open availability. I don't really like thrift shops. Not because of like more of a really good antique ones.
We're going specifically for like iconic stuff.
I get that. But it's like, I don't know, with all the shit that's like thrown together and like dusty and have you been to an antique mall? Antique mall? I don't think so. They're like they're sort of more organized. Basically, someone rents out a space, and that's where they can sell their stuff.
That sounds better.
It
sounds
is.
a lot better.
There's
Like
one in the
Frankenstein.
rivers. It's like Frankenstein.
See, I like Frankenstein, even though it's like a bunch of like used shit and everything.
I-
It's like it's cool.
Like
It's-
I almost today I went into a thrift store and they had Lord of the Rings, the board game. They were selling for $3.
Have you been to like the Riverside Antique Mall? It's on Main Street, like in that downtown area where it's like
Yeah, I've been
it's
there.
like 3 stories high.
You're like 3 stories high.
I got a Soul
Got
Calibur.
about a minute.
Okay. I got a Soul Calibur 2 art book there for like $2.
Nice.
I think I still have
Good
a copy
deal.
of Soul Calibur 2.
Thanks, man. I didn't know you were back. Welcome back.
Put Star
Yes.
Wars
Hello.
in Soul Calibur.
I must say, I am having fun, and I don't feel tired, which is good.
Wow, that's different.
Nice.
I feel tired. I've been up for a long time. Every Thursday, I'm up at 6 a.m. I hate it. And then you make me do this.
You signed
You
on,
have
man.
time to take a nap.
I didn't sign shit,
You have so much-
dog.
you have so much
Okay,
time
we
to
need
nap.
30 seconds of silent, please.
It's raw, it's uncensored, it's live 24/7. It's chaoticradio.com.
Welcome back to the Kind of Gaming Show, Hour 2 with the Grizzly Guernsey Gamer.
Hello. You'll get it eventually.
Yeah, well, I just have to make sure and say it really slow.
Yeah.
We're here back again with the Kind of Gaming Show boys and Triple G.
I like that.
Yeah, man.
The boys.
The
boys.
boys.
Andrew and the boys.
Yeah, Andrew and the boys.
Dirty Mike and the boys.
Yeah, man.
For you, Dirty Mike.
That's my favorite bit from the other guys.
I never saw that.
Oh, that's a good
Who are we on right now?
Miguel is about to hit his number 4.
Hey.
Yeah.
I've been having second thoughts about my list because this one is a port, but I played the fuck out of it. So I think I have to put it higher up after all.
You're just like
Just
trying
rotate.
tossing around.
Yeah, I'm just gonna scoot it up and boot everything else down. So my number 4 is actually Virtua Fighter 3 Team Battle.
Oh,
Wow.
that's a fun one.
Because
fighting games going on.
Yeah, it was really fucking fun. I don't think I was like even playing the story mode or anything. I would just go on to there's like this one where you're on top of a tower or something. It's like a giant circular field and you can knock people off. So I think I was doing like challenge mode or something. I don't remember. I was a very small child, but I would just for hours play this same level of like just fucking trying to knock people off of this giant not stadium. What the fuck do you call it? Arena.
You just thought it was fun to
Yeah, it was super
in a
fun.
fighting game just knock people off a building instead of fight them.
Yeah,
Cool.
pretty much.
Cool.
Ring out.
Yeah, it was also in 3D.
And it's iconic 3D.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Iconic 3D.
I swear it looked like real people back then,
it's
but I have to,
polygons. It has that very, like the
Oh.
way it looks. It's just very iconic.
I get you.
Like they've made action figures that are in those graphics of those characters.
That's cool.
yeah. It's before that level though. Actually,
Oh yeah.
that's when you could see
That's-
like the planes and shit on them, like they had hard edges.
Mm-hmm.
That's way too far in the game for him. He said one level, Connor.
Yeah, right. Yeah, I don't know. It was just one of those ones I could like. I didn't play the Dreamcast as much as like the Super Nintendo, but if I was playing the Dreamcast, that was one of the 3 games that I was like I was popping in, and that's what killed all of my day.
Nice.
Anyway, go ahead, Connie.
Go ahead, Connor.
All right. Well, number 4 is Sonic Adventure 2.
Oh,
Wow.
When you feel the sunshine. Please play that song.
No, that's not from Adventure 2.
There are better
Wait.
songs in Adventure
Didn't you
2.
say it was
All right,
in
what's-
Adventure
hold
2 but
on,
not
what-
the first one?
No,
What
that's-
song do
that's-
you want? What
think we
song
went
do you want to be
backwards.
played, Grizzly? From Sonic Adventure 2.
Is it? Am I right in thinking it's the Knuckles one? Was like,
yes,
Cypress
rap.
Hill.
That's good.
They had
Pumpkin
the
Patch.
tune.
Yeah.
Gonna take it down to aquatic mine. Like,
Pumpkin Hill.
yeah,
Fuck
that was
yeah.
That's
cool.
my favorite lyric.
There we go.
That, oh yes, oh mate, spooky
Oh,
ghosts.
Yeah.
Turn it up a little bit, man.
We'll just jam out for a little bit.
Yeah, we'll play. You know, this is a radio station. How about we just play this for a minute?
Demonetized.
I know that it's here, I can sense it in my feet. The great emerald's power allows me to feel. I can't see a thing, but it's around somewhere. I'm gonna hold my head, cause I have no fear. This probably seems crazy, graveyard theory. Our ghosts try to approach me and got leery. Ask him a question and he vanished in a second. I'm walking through
So-
valley,
This is crazy.
Yeah, and, like the fact that this was just chilling in that game. I mean, like, okay, Sonic Adventure 1, I'm not too big on that one. Like, even as a kid, I was like, it's fun. But then, like, as an adult, I played it again in high school with some friends, and they refused to take the helm of the controller. And I played through the entirety of the game, and I was like, this is a bad game. But
Because the thing is, like, 2 has much better like variety, even though
Yes.
like Tails and Eggman's missions suck.
yeah,
But like,
yeah.
you know what I love when you played that tune, I remembered Sonic's noise he makes when he digs stuff.
Oh yeah.
He makes the same, and it's and that's what he'd say every time he dug something up, and it's infuriatingly annoying thing when you're like trying to grab. Just like calm down, Knuckles. You've got, like the gloves, you can just dig through easy.
Yeah.
Oh, memories.
It kind of makes sense why he's so buff now after all that digging.
Mm.
He also
just,
has 4 penises though.
It's
So
not
that
4 penises.
testosterone.
It's one penis with 4 heads.
Ouch. That's still a lot of testosterone probably pumping through his body. Support.
What was that from? That reference?
Oh,
He has 4
that's just in an
penises?
That's an
Oh.
echidna. They
That's-
just
Oh,
have
someone mentioned it, and some YouTuber mentioned it in the video, and it's hilarious. When
Oh
I heard it.
yeah, the Game Grumps mentioned it a
Probably
couple
Game
times.
Grumps, yeah.
Probably, yeah.
But I think like the thing about 2 is like it controlled a lot better than 1 did. Where 1 you were kind of all over the place, you were on ice skates, you never really felt like you were on the ground. It just sort of flew around. And this I loved collecting little chows and then putting them on the memory card like a Tamagotchi.
Oh
Yeah.
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 Yeah, it was a fun game. It was really good. I think as far as 3D Sonic games go, it's a good one. So
That's a good way of putting it.
yeah, because most 3D Sonic games are poopy.
Yes.
I don't know if it counts as three. Man, I really like Sonic Generations.
Oh,
A lot of people do.
Yeah.
And Colors, I've heard. Was
Colors
good.
is good
But
also.
do you like the old school Sonic levels and then not so much the new
No,
levels?
I love the new levels,
Oh,
dude.
okay.
I think they're both fantastic.
Because that's what a lot of people are like. I like Generations, but like only old Sonic levels. Where
Yeah.
It was,
Well, no,
Yeah.
it's good. You know, speaking of 3D Sonic games, a lot of people now are going back and looking at Sonic Unleashed and saying it's kind of like a hidden gem. Like it's a game that was actually a lot better than people thought.
well, that was at the peak of the original character on the internet phase of Sonic just
Oh.
being the worst fan base
Speaking
ever.
of that, Sonic Forces, really concerned.
That's coming out soon. Right?
Yeah,
Oh,
I'm really
'cause you can
concerned
make
about
an
that.
original character.
Yeah, because the whole point of the game is creating an OC.
Yeah.
Like that's just, I don't know if that's a
And
good
they're
idea.
riding high off Sonic Mania right now. They're like, don't
yeah.
mess
Yeah.
it up, Sega. You're doing so well right
Sonic
now with
Mania is
Sonic.
good.
And while
So-
this game looks fine, the OC part of it, I don't think is very smart of Sega
So-
to do.
Legitimate question. If Sega announced next week, they're like, we're going to re-release Sonic 06 and remaster it, how many people do you think would buy it?
I don't-
It might, maybe ironically a lot.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, they just keep the game, like, they cut down on the load times, because that was one of the main issues of it, right? So they get rid of the load times and they remaster it. How many people would buy it?
I think it would be a joke.
If by remaster you mean fix everything,
No, I just
Change
mean
the
mean
game.
update the graphics, get rid of the load times.
Oh,
Keep
nobody-
everything else the
It's
same.
still
it
when
was still really like broken and
It's
impossible
actually
to play.
broken.
I feel like people would buy it though.
Just as
Of
a
course they
joke,
would
maybe.
buy it.
No, like they release it at $40, like not full price, and people would buy it.
Yeah, they're gonna buy it, but enjoying it is something different.
Who cares if they enjoy it?
It
They just want to
wouldn't-
make money.
Of course they're gonna buy it.
No, it wouldn't go over well unless they like
Said they
made a
fixed
huge
it.
point of everything is fixed. The game is playable now. It wouldn't.
But that's kind of the point. Like people don't buy Sonic 06 now because it's a good game.
But
People
when,
don't buy Sonic 06 now.
but if they remaster it, it would just be like a Sonic 3D game that they already have. You know, they already have.
I do
3D
wonder
Sonic
as
games
well if there were any modders who have like emulated it and got the kinks sorted out with it and just gone, we're going to tweak that, and made it a bit better. Because there are some games out there where it's like, oh, they were practically unplayable, and then you get guys going, oh, I'm just going to change this here and there, and you play it again when they've modded it, and you go, oh, this is a brilliant game. I can't think of any examples to hand, but there have definitely been a few PC games in the past that have
now. Is
really
this
shone.
I don't know. I still think there's a lot of problems with the story, and just
No, I
a
don't.
lot
I don't
of it.
disagree. I just say with how like meme people are nowadays. If they were to re-release it and put it maybe not 40, like
Maybe it was like 10 or 5.
No, 20.
Well, see, what's
20.
funny
because
is
if it gets a physical re-release, most of the time they don't go less than 20.
But you know what's
Don't
funny
make
is
only digital.
people still they'll keep making Sonic games. Obviously, Sonic 06 was trash. They come out with another Sonic game, Sonic the Black Knight. People still buy it. Sonic and Secret Rings. People still buy it. It's like it doesn't matter. They're
just-
still gonna
I really
buy the
think-
Sonic games.
I don't disagree. I
Regardless
just
if they're
really
bad.
think it's one of those games that are so bad. If they really had the gall to re-release it, like people would just buy it. Maybe like it wouldn't have long-term buys, but like the initial buy rate would be really high.
Exactly, because it would be like, oh, this is fucking hilarious. I need to see this.
They could staple it onto a new Sonic collection.
Oh,
The Sonic Dreams collection.
No, not that one. Like you know how they have that old collection from how long ago was that? Did that come out on GameCube?
which one?
Oh yeah, I know what you're talking about.
It had all the classic Sonics.
Oh, yeah.
It was
so-
on 360.
That
It was
was
the Sega Ultimate,
You're right. It was on
Sonic's
360.
Ultimate collection or whatever.
Yeah.
All right. Anyway,
Did that have the
that,
adventure games on it?
I don't know.
No, I don't believe
think
so.
So there you go, a new collection with adventure, heroes, riders, all that new shit. Well, not new, but everything
Everything 3D.
since. Yeah.
It's funny how Sonic used to be like a joke, and now people actually take it serious. Like it was like, oh, this was
I mean,
fucking
it started
stupid,
off
and these people.
serious.
Well, it did, but then like there was a really long period of time where it was just a joke, and now like as of like Mania coming out, everybody's like, I actually like Sonic.
I think it's been. I think that narrative has kind of changed since Sonic Generations. Generations came out, and then I think right after that they finally finished the 3rd episode of Sonic 4, if I remember correctly.
Boom came out though.
Yeah, and then
People
boom.
expected Boom to be good.
They
It's made by
expected it.
Naughty Dog.
It looks fine.
Because like, we're like, what?
No, like visually, the graphics are fine.
No, I didn't say it was good. I said
But-
people expected it to be good. 'cause
Of
it's
course
made by
they
Naughty
did.
Dog.
No, that's the thing.
I think the groundwork for a lot of the memification for Sonic was made in Sonic Adventure. Like some of those dialogue, I remember one line in particular where Tails is like introduced and he's crashing, and Sonic's like, "Tails, you're gonna crash!" Ah, and like his face is just like this blank expression with his mouth
And
just
his-
blah
But their
blah blah. and
faces
you're like,
are all bubbly, aren't they? In that
Yeah.
one, they're just
Still
like
better
bouncing.
faces than Mass Effect
Yeah.
Andromeda.
Their
True.
their eyes bounce around, their mouths. They don't actually like. They're just like.
Oh, you know, I
It's-
just
yeah.
said that, but maybe that's how Andromeda got their faces.
Oh,
they
maybe.
modeled
They
off
They
that.
got the team from Adventure.
Wow.
All right, man. So, what's your number 3, Grizzly?
no more fighting games. I've said all my fighting games.
Good for you.
The third
Next one of
one,
us.
Go
Of
ahead.
the Dead
Go ahead.
2,
Oh.
because it's fantastic.
Yeah.
Oh my, like, because it was originally on the arcade, and I
Yeah.
played that when I was about 7 or 8, whenever it came out in 1998, and then they ported it the Dreamcast, and I was like, this is amazing! I can have a light gun game that's not just Time Crisis in my house.
Yeah.
and shoot zombies, and hear the fantastic dialogue like, "Oh no, geez, bloodstains," and or like the first boss is just like this like flying imp with like a headless axeman who he hides behind, and he's like, "Go get him, Clive!" And you're like, "What is this? I love it."
He had like the
Give me
highest
more.
pitch voice ever.
I think it's funny when you said that you kind of blew Brandon's mind. Like he went
I'm
in
sitting
the
here
beginning
like-
of this episode saying like I don't want a Dreamcast, and as we're saying
No,
more
I
and more
said I've never
games-
played a Dreamcast. I
Oh,
don't
that's
know
why-
any
okay,
games.
That's fair.
And so like all of these games are arcade games that I
Yeah.
played a fuck ton of. So like every time you mentioned one, I was like, holy shit. I know exactly what you guys are talking about.
Yeah,
That's
House
funny.
of the Dead 2. I had it on Dreamcast. I almost put it on my list, and I really played it a lot. I was like, really strange I didn't put it on the list, but the fighting games got to me, man.
That was
I
actually
understand.
another one that I excluded because I only played it arcade mode.
Oh, I played it a lot at my house.
Nice, man.
The cool thing was they also put it on the Xbox when they released House of the Dead 3, and it was like unlockable, and it had like a shotgun light gun. I was like, that's ridiculous. And I have to get it one day.
That's
So I have the game, I just don't have the shotgun.
Man, I love playing that game in arcades, but also after like the first level, I find myself getting a little tired just holding the shotgun up the whole time. Like it makes me miss going over to the pistol, or in the fourth one, the Uzi.
Oh, yeah.
Like-
yeah, that's right. It did have that.
Right? You go to the third one, and I was playing it with Cass, and after like 1 or 2 levels, me and her are both just like, Jesus. Like
My
we're-
arms. I need to go to the gym.
Yeah,
Ah.
exactly. Like, and then you go over there and you look at the Terminator Salvation arcade
yeah.
machine, and they just have that
Oh,
gigantic fucking
good
machine
time.
gun.
Good time.
Good game.
I remember there was one day when my cousin and I went to, I think it was GameWorks here at Ontario Mills. And
gone.
we played
Rest,
through,
rest in
yeah,
peace.
I know. I worked there. It sucks. But we went through all 4 at the time. It was right when House of the Dead 4 was brand new. We played all 4 of them in one day. I don't know how much money we spent, but I just kept asking my mom for quarters.
Probably a lot.
Yeah, but we beat all of them.
$37.
It was really cool, and it was like an entire day. House of the Dead 1,
Thanks, man.
2, 3,
I
and
need to
4.
play the there's a sniper, is it Silent Scope with a ridiculous sniper rifle light gun?
Yes.
That's one I have to get as well, because
Yeah,
I've wanted it for so long, but I haven't got it. I can just imagine myself like lying on the stairs of my flat,
Yeah.
aiming at the TV, just like, this is how it's supposed to be played.
I
Maybe
think-
a video one day.
War never changes.
Or it never changes.
I think it's something interesting to think about though is that we might not get light gun games anymore Because
That's not true. They
the
on
Wii's gone. I mean, they're kind of moving to VR. Like, there's the
they
VR stuff.
there was
but-
that one
Yep,
game
on
on.
to Switch.
Well, no, not that, but there was a game that came out on PlayStation VR recently.
Yeah,
that
Yeah, but
was-
it's
Farpoint.
VR.
Yeah, but you're holding a gun. You
But
have
it's
to buy
not like
gun.
a light
But it's not a
gun.
light gun game.
I guess not
Yeah.
technically, but
TVs can't really use that technology anymore.
Well, I mean, the Wii did it basically. I mean,
Well,
they
Resident
can't
Evil
There
4
was-
was pretty good. It wasn't a light gun game, but it had like you pointed at the screen. Like that's my favorite way to play Resident Evil 4, just because you could point at the screen and be like, "Oh, this is amazing."
That was really fun.
I mean, there's a really shitty PS4 light gun game that came out that you use the controller, the motion.
Oh,
No.
jeez.
I
Oh,
think it's
no.
called Blue Steel, Blue something. I tried playing it because
Called
it
Blue
was
Steel.
Blue
Derek
something. I
Zoolander.
don't remember. Right, but I played it because it was free on PS Now, and I'm like, I wanted it to be good, but like the motion in the PS4 controller just isn't good enough to try to play a light gun game like that.
No.
And I kept dying over it. I'm like, this is stupid.
They on PS3 they actually had Counter-Strike Global Offensive playable with the PlayStation Move,
That's cool.
Wow.
and that is like an atrocity for how precision Counter-Strike is.
All right, so
Very
I'm
true.
gonna go ahead and move on. My number 3 is Headhunter, which was originally on Dreamcast, was ported over to PS2. It is a really cool action game where kind of third person, a lot of missions. The whole point of the game is to continue and get higher licenses and be able to compete in the story. It's really fun. There aren't, in my opinion, there aren't a ton of just like straight action games like this on Dreamcast. I could be wrong in that respect, but I think it's really fun. It's probably a little underrated. Like I've never met another person that's like, I know what Headhunter is, because that sounds like such a generic name for a game.
Yeah, I actually have not heard of it, and
I have it on PS2, I think.
Hey.
Hey, man, this guy knows what the fuck he's talking about.
That
I
always
got
happens
two. I
with
got
podcasts.
Headhunter and Headhunter the sequel. It's like it's not called Headhunter 2. It's like
Redemption.
Headhunter the whatever
says-
the
it says-
Called the
subtitle is.
Redemption.
Headhunter Redemption. What a generic name for a game.
I've never heard that before,
That was
Andrew.
a trend in like the early.
I've never heard
2000s,
that.
Though. Like all the sequels just had like stuff that started with R, Redemption, Revolution, remixed, and it's like
Wow.
it was an interesting thing.
You pulled up the box art. This dude looks just like Adam Jensen. Or I should say Adam Jensen looks just like this dude.
As for this,
Yeah.
I like what it says. Like it sounds cool. It takes place in the 1980s. Mike, I dig it.
Yeah,
Third
man.
person shooter. Perfect.
Yeah. So it says here, I can give you a quick rundown of the plot according to the always trusty Wikipedia.
And just say really quick. It
Yeah.
sounds a lot like
The game
Escape
take-
from LA.
This game takes place in the near future in the city similar to Los Angeles, California. Criminals are punished for their crimes, but not only serving time in prison by having their internal organs surgically removed if they lost to another prisoner in an underwater arena and transplanted to the benefit of wealthier members of society. Officially responsible for law enforcement are the Anti-Crime Network organization and their employees. The bounty hunter-like headhunters, in order to prevent damage occurring to the criminals' organs, are apprehended. Conventional firearms have been banned, replaced by electric neural projectile guns that fire special bullets which do not damage flesh, but instead emit electrical charge and causes severe pain to the victims, paralyzes muscles, and eventually kills the brain.
Wow.
Which is why it's
Bitch.
called Headhunter.
Yep.
Okay, that's cool.
Wow.
Yeah, I like
yeah, it's
that
pretty
plot.
messed up, but good fun.
Yeah, exactly. And this game was E for everybody.
So everybody you shoot, do you have to sit there and wait for them to actually die? Like, do you shoot them and they just sit there and zap and then go?
No, not that I
dice.
remember.
Thank
It's
you.
been a while since I played it, but I feel if I remember correctly, they act like you're just using a regular gun.
Well, what's the point of having that whole
The whole spiel,
For
Yeah.
the plot.
story.
for the plot?
For the E rating.
For the E rating.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, because killing them instantly is the E rating.
Yeah. No, you killed them without bullets.
But you can harvest their liver and it's fine. Like,
Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
sure. Why not?
It's a family game.
E for everyone.
It's good for the community.
Not
Granny
T for
needs
T.
a new pelvis.
Who doesn't love
Yeah,
a
it's
good organ
fine.
A whole
harvest?
pelvis?
Whole pelvis?
Why not? He's not gonna need it.
Fair enough, fair enough.
All right, go ahead, Miguel.
I'm gonna boot this one down from my number 2 spot. It's now number 3. Soul Calibur.
Ah.
Wow. Tell us about it.
Calibur.
Never heard of that one.
Wow.
Yeah, that was another one. I could just waste hours fighting the same. But this was different because it's like Guernsey mentioned earlier. It's cool. Just like the dudes have weapons and shit, and they just fight it out. Like I like fighters that are more direct in their controls, where it's not like quarter circle like Street Fighter. I don't like Street Fighter controls very much. I think
Street Fighter's pretty basic. I think when you get into like the quarter circle, all that stuff, that's like
the controls don't like
scary.
accurately like convey what you're trying to do, and it's like in Tekken and like Soul Calibur and whatnot. It's like you figure out what are the hitboxes for like this like sweeping leg kick and shit, and like what are the best moves I can use in a string, where it's like someone's gonna react by jumping over this leg kick, so I can uppercut out of this.
I really feel like you would actually enjoy the new UFC games that came out, like Xbox One.
I'd rather just fight people.
Well, no, that's what I'm saying. But they control very similarly. Like every button, like X, Y, A, B, are connected to limbs, and you use different buttons and different angles to be able to attack them different ways.
Like
and
Quap.
Yeah, so you can apply, and you can mix in grapples, and there's a bunch of different techniques you can use. I actually feel like you'd really enjoy that. Like once you got past the fact that you're playing a UFC game, you'd probably really like it.
Probably. But it's a lot like Dark Souls in combat, in that like in Dark Souls you pick your weapon and it has this moveset that you want to like utilize in a way that people are going to react to.
Interesting.
It's
now you make me
similar.
want to play because you compared it to Dark Souls, and I don't know how accurate that is.
It's very comparable.
Your ears
actually.
pricked up, and you're like,
This is not Dark Souls.
Hold up.
It's like when people said
What range
Neo
you
is
got,
like Dark
bitch?
Souls. I'm like, Neo is not like Dark
It's
Souls.
if you just took the PvP from Dark Souls minus casting,
Okay,
like just weapons,
that's the way I play.
and fought, nice, and made that a game. That's Soul Calibur.
But it's okay. Fair enough. I won't get into.
but is there a chaos-infused Zweihander?
Yeah.
That's the question.
Is there a
Kinda.
spiked mace that makes you bleed after
Kind
3
of
hits?
is a chaos imbued. I don't know.
Yeah, in the,
Giant Dad must be appeased.
Yeah,
Let me use
Soul
Mord's
Edge is pretty
hammer
much
and I'll
that.
boot
Right.
you off the edge.
Legends never die.
Mm.
Yeah, you can do that in
Heroes
Soul
get
Calibur.
remembered, but legends never die.
What rings you got, bitch?
Soul Calibur was really fun. Like that's
sorry.
I
sorry. Very good.
We're just gonna Dark Souls meme for the rest of the show. Sorry, guys.
Andrew and I will just sit here and wait.
Impression banter.
More like Shiva the
360
deceased.
point down.
Get wrecked.
Yeah, I dumped so many hours in Soul Calibur. 1, 2, not 3, 4. Like 3 wasn't
And
bad.
5 with the Star Wars characters.
I actually haven't played 5.
So if you play the Star Wars characters, like say Darth Vader, can you use
That was
a
4.
different weapon? Oh, it was 4?
Yeah.
Either way, can
Oh.
you change your weapon or do you have to use a lightsaber?
I don't know. I didn't use the Star Wars characters, but
you have to use a lightsaber.
You use your lightsaber, but you use a lot of force moves too.
and there were like styles basically.
Yeah.
Ah.
for
You
each
can have
character.
like Darth Vader had one lightsaber that was like really crude and had lightning shooting out of it. And then he had like the
Oh,
Star
so-
Killer. He had the oversaber going on. So all that stuff.
Although Yoda was in that, and that God, that
Yoda's a
reminds me
cheap
when I was
Oh my god.
saying about EGX, there was a guy called DJ Yoda who did like a set of video game music remixes, and it was brilliant. He had the Soul Calibur with Yoda.
Oh, nice.
Nice.
That's fun.
Yoda's a cheap
And it's
bitch.
like brilliant.
It's
in
so
those
hard to
games.
hit Yoda.
Yeah.
So small,
He
he
has, like,
jumps
no
all over the
hitbox.
place.
Fucking
Mm.
impossible.
You have to use low attacks on him. Oh man. All right. So if we're gonna continue on, my number 3, Marvel vs. Capcom 2.
Ooh.
Yeah.
I take you for a ride.
That's not the song that's gonna be playing right now.
I like
Is
this
that the
one
game
better.
over music?
This is the network screen.
What the fuck?
I actually just picked the OST and grabbed somewhere in the middle, so it'd be a song we haven't played yet
Oh,
because
okay.
we've been playing a
Can
few
I
of
request some like original Resident Evil, like that one in the corridor? There's just like trumpets just going burp 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 burp.
Yeah.
But yeah, Marvel vs. Capcom 2, solid. Like it's fast, it's in the air, and team swap, and it's just really fun. Like it's one of those ones that you could be casual and still have like a good amount of fun and throw down on it.
Just from the roster size.
Yeah.
Like, I love playing a Servbot. He's so stupid.
Yeah, and I think it's just there's such a huge variety of characters. Like
Yep.
it's a lot of times in fighting games, people stick in the mechanics of what the whole game is. Like everyone has this somewhat feel about them. It's okay. You're playing Tekken, you're playing Street Fighter, but when you're playing Marvel vs. Capcom, there's characters that are completely different. Like
Yep.
they don't control as if it's the same game at all. So.
Yeah, I
Is this
completely
the
agree.
one where Venom takes up half the screen?
Yes.
Okay,
Yes.
so I have played this one.
Yeah.
So we're
You-
playing Venom, and it's like, wow,
He's
is
huge.
5 times
He's
the size
really
of
big.
Spider-Man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
Wow.
I tried to get Owen Wilson
wow.
saying "wow" on YouTube, but there was only like 18 minutes of Owen Wilson saying "wow" and stuff like that. Or Owen Wilson says "wow" 1,483,000 times. Like
At the
all-
same time.
Yeah.
There's-
Like,
There's an
I
amazing.
need that as like an alarm tone. Just wake up in the morning. Wow. Wow. Wow.
There's an amazing video where they replace Star Wars: The Phantom Menace, and they replace every time the lightsabers hit each
Oh, the
other.
lightsaber
Wow!
fight.
Yeah,
I've
Wow!
seen that.
Wow!
It's
Wow!
amazing.
Wow!
You know what would be surprisingly fitting is replacing the Shy Guy sounds with that. Because they pretty much do it already.
yeah, they.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
We have
What
to have
about the
Owen
Redeads
Wilson's
and Legend of
face.
Zelda that scream? Instead of screaming, they're just like, wow. And then they just slowly just walk towards you like, oh shit.
Make the clickers make that noise in
In Last
in
of
Last of Us.
Every
Wow,
time you just
wow,
have to
wow.
have the face pop out of like a pore. Just,
Or Gears of War when you're chainsawing someone in half or doing a curb stop. As soon as you do the stomp.
Yeah, just plays it.
wow.
I feel like
Gears
this
of
is
wow.
this is gonna become one of those like random mods, and like it's probably in there for Left 4 Dead 2.
Oh, absolutely. This cannot
There's-
be a new
there's-
thing.
There's got to be something that just replaces everything with WoW.
Every time, like you have the machine gun. Wow! 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 Wow!
Yeah,
You shoot a boomer and it explodes, and Owen Wilson's head just like flies out everywhere. And there's wow, that'd be amazing.
Oh man.
Marvel vs. Capcom 2 though.
Yeah,
Fuck yeah.
I completely agree, man.
Oh yeah, that's what we were talking about.
Yeah. It's
Owen
it's
Wilson's
My
an
fault. I keep
unlockable
distracting
character.
us.
Owen Wilson is in Marvel vs. Capcom 2. He was on the
That's
Marvel
how big the
side.
roster is. All right, so I was about to say my number 2, Grizzly. What's your number 2, man?
Okay. Jet Set Radio.
Oh yeah! I
Yeah.
forgot that was on the
That's sick.
Dreamcast.
I knew somebody was going to have to do it.
Yeah, someone
Is your localization called Grind Radio or is it Set?
No,
It's
Jet
Jet
Set
Set.
Radio.
Yeah, ours
Jet
is-
Grind
It's
Radio I thought was a
just American.
sequel.
Yeah, that's what I
I
thought.
was like, does Canada have the same localization? Or?
I'll check. Give me one second.
Is
I
it?
thought Jet Grind Radio was a sequel. Because that was
Well,
on
that's the thing.
PS2, I
In
think.
North America, it's called Jet Grind Radio, and
Oh.
everywhere else calls it Jet Set Radio.
I knew
So
it
whenever
as Jet
people are like,
Set.
oh, do you like Jet Grind Radio? I'm like, no, because that's not a real game.
Because
It's
that
called
sounds
Jet
fucking
Set.
stupid.
Stupid. But I mean, I must say, I played Jet Set Radio Future first because that was a launch title of the Xbox original, and I loved that game. And I only played Jet Set Radio like a few years ago on the 360, but I love Jet Set Radio. Like, just this, there's nothing like it in
Apparently,
any other console. There's never been a series like Jet Set Radio, and you get stuff similar like Mad World or beyond, like No More Heroes with the art style, and you'll get stuff like music where it's like, oh, it's kind of even just like the music in those two games is like I don't really listen to that music. You know, I'm kind of more into rock and metal and all sorts, but you know, when the soundtrack comes up, I'm like, oh mate, I love these tunes, and just bobbing around like an idiot on the bus or whatever.
apparently Sega was listening to the detractors back then. They did originally release it as Jet Grind Radio, but I guess re-released it eventually.
Yeah, the first release it says. I guess yeah, but while it was still being made on Dreamcast, it changed into Jet Set in America. So they
okay.
confused the marketplace.
Wow.
Nice.
Wow.
Jet Set Radio is good. It's one of those ones. I didn't play it a huge amount, but it was definitely. I think I liked the idea and the art style of it more than I liked the gameplay of it, because even though it wasn't bad, I don't want to say anything like it was bad or anything. It just wasn't for me. But it's like
I mean, the first one is hard to control compared to like second one. They like, here's a boost ability. It's much easier to grind, etc. Like one was kind of teething a bit.
yeah, and it's been years since I actually tried to play it. So I mean, maybe there was some handicaps going on from when I was younger.
It's
But
possible.
yeah, I
Just
definitely
remember,
love
if you
the art.
do reboot it, turn the volume down the first time you do, because when I did it on the 360, like DJ Professor K just like screams Jet Set Radio, and it like blasts out your speakers. And it's just like, I remember I played it for the first time in like 8 a.m. in my block of flats at uni, and I'm just like, oh, for God's sake. And he's just like screaming out the TV because it's not volumed properly.
You're like, oh, I have
But
to buy a
really
new
good.
set.
And the police are worse than the police in GTA. They're like, were you spray painting in a park? Yeah. Right, I'm going to have to get the submachine gun out, mate. You're dead. Oh, right.
5 stars instantly.
Cheese it. All right.
All right. So my number 2 is Power Stone.
What?
Ooh,
What?
that's an interesting pick.
What do you mean? What? It's such a good game.
Never fucking heard
No,
of it.
no, no.
Never
It's,
heard of it
it's just
either.
more of like again, like most people go, what? Like that's usually the
Man.
reaction. Like, oh, what?
Power Stone, fantastic multiplayer
I know the
fighter.
one. Like, yeah.
So it's kind of, it played similar to, oh man, I wouldn't say Smash Brothers, but it was more of a party fighter. We were running around, you had to pick up different random game draw or like weapon pickups, and the whole objective was to throw them off the stage. Super fun. It was one of those games I played a ton as a kid, and anytime any of my friends want to play Power Stone, I'm so down. I really wish they would make a Power Stone 3. Each character is really original. A totally different feel to them. They also had what I consider the first iteration of a Smash Ball, where each character had a finishing move.
Is
You mean
that
worst thing they
the
ever
Power
added to
Stone?
Smash Bros?
One more time?
I said, you mean the worst thing they ever added to Smash Bros?
No, I said jackass.
I liked Brawl.
I did too. It's my favorite.
Me too.
But anyway, yeah, man, Power Stone, fantastic game. If you haven't given it a chance, play it and play it with some friends, because it's a game that you can just lose a lot of time to by being complete dicks to each other.
Using the time or losing
Losing time.
Because I don't like to lose time. I like to use it.
Eh,
I actually forgot the name of this game, but looking at it, I'm like, oh yeah, I played this at a friend's house. Like we played it for like 9 hours at a sleepover one
Holy
time.
shit.
yeah, it's just one of those games.
Did a
that-
load of weed, did some cocaine.
Yeah.
I was
Good
like
times.
9.
Okay,
I was 9
fine.
years
so
old.
did
10
heroin.
vodkas.
Oh,
Don't even
oh, yeah,
flinch,
okay.
bro.
But yeah, this was fun. It was funny because I couldn't tell you names or anything about people, but I was like, yeah, this is a fun one. I totally played this back in the day. It's interesting
Nice.
random pick for your dose.
Yeah, man. Go ahead and what's your number 2, Miguel?
My number 2 has been cited before. Sonic Adventure fucking 2.
Oh.
Dude, oh my god, I poured so many I played it on GameCube, so that's why I originally didn't want to put it in my top 5 list, but then I was like, I didn't play that many Dreamcast games. Oh my god, it's like, not only was there like there was so much shit to do, like along like all the storylines and shit, like all the collectibles and the animals and everything, but then you had the chows.
Yeah, the chows
Oh
are
my
so much fun.
God.
I think I spent more time playing with the chows than I did playing the
Chow
actual
Garden.
game.
Right, there was so much content to this fucking
Yeah.
game. Like,
Although, is that the one with the multiplayer where you could race your like friends and then like Shadow would do that thing and goes, "Chaos control!" And then you're like, "Oh shit!" He's like frozen
Yeah.
me, and it was the most frustrating thing in the world when you're like doing a loop to loop and he does that, and then you fall down. You go, "Kevin, yeah, you're a wanker." And that was like broke friendships.
yeah, I think I remember
know?
this being part of the hostility between my brother and me.
I think my brother threw a controller at me.
Nice.
My
Nice.
little brother, yeah. I took a controller to the chin.
Wow.
You know, I never knew about rage in games until we had an old friend of mine named John move in. Right? So we were playing, I played on the GameCube a lot of WWE Day of Reckoning. Right? I put so much time into that. And I would play him, and he would get so upset over it. He would throw the controller. He used to have a PSP. He literally snapped it in half.
That's wonderful.
What?
Wonderful.
Like, he just took it, and I don't remember, I think he was playing like God of War or something, and he kept dying. And literally, I just look over, and he's just like, "Ugh!"
What a
I've
piece of
wanted to do
shit.
that, but I can't remember what game it was. Like, there was a couple of PS2 controllers that were split in half because you just squeeze them a little bit, and they go pop, and just pop right open. And I can't remember what games pissed me off to that point. Yeah, I don't remember, but I know I
My-
broke a lot like that.
My flatmate was terrible with FIFA. Like when he was playing FIFA, he punched a hole through the wall at our flat, at our
Nice.
accommodation,
At least he did it.
twice.
Headbutt someone in the
Twice.
chest.
Not in the same spot.
He's like, "Ronaldo, you're a wank!" And it's like, smash. What the hell was that noise? And it's like, "Sorry, I just punched a hole through the wall." Oh, okay. You playing FIFA again?
At least he didn't headbutt someone in the chest.
Yeah.
I've heard
man.
that happens with soccer games.
Dude, have you seen that video of the guy? He was not even getting angry. He was celebrating, and he threw his chair at his TV.
Oh,
and
no.
destroyed it
Nice.
because he got a rare player and everything. And he's like, yeah! And he took his chair and threw it. And it just hits his TV to see his TV go and just turn into a bunch of lines. And he's like, oh.
So depressing though, like when you see them opening card packs. Like I keep seeing on Twitch, there's like an advert, and there's this guy who's like, he opens a pack and there's a character, and he's like, that was sick. I'm like, no, you're a dick. Transactions. Buying a character pack. Stop it. And it's like,
I'm totally guilty, man. In MLB 7, in MLB The Show, man, like I want to build my team, and when I'm playing, and I open up like a player who's really high rated, I go fucking nuts, man. Like it's just one of those things, and that game pisses me off too. By the way, when I strike out or I'm losing really badly, I'm just sitting in there, and I go fuck, and Cass just looks over and she goes, "Oh, you're playing baseball."
Wow.
like that was a really good fuck. Like that had great tone. That had great delivery.
That was really good.
Like sell that to a sound effect firm, and that would be like a great like you're listening to fuck radio, and like that would be perfect.
Please, if you ever need a fuck sound effect in your videos, Grizzly, will you please use that fuck?
Yeah, if you can get me a clip of it, yeah.
All of us can give you fuck sound bits if you want.
Yeah, let's do Miguel.
What?
Let's
No.
give your best fuck yell, Miguel.
How much time do we have?
I'm gonna do
Like
one
half
day.
an hour.
Yeah, I got like 24 minutes.
All right.
Fuck! Fuck!
Was that too close?
Fuck!
How deaf are you at this point?
All right.
This is fun.
There we go.
Is it?
Fuck! This is a good way to spend a Thursday evening or a Friday morning for him.
We got to get one from Guernsey now, right?
Oh yeah, can you please give us one, man? Can you give us a fuck?
One
Just
fuck,
one
please?
single fuck?
Could I give you like a slightly nuanced fuck?
Yes.
Go for
Yeah,
it.
sure.
However you fuck, man.
Ready? It's gonna be a bit quiet. Fuck.
Oh, I like that one.
Damn.
Very sensual.
I gotta hold on. I can't stand up right now.
Like if I get really angry, I go London. I go fuck.
My pants just got really tight.
It's not even a you. It's fact. Fucking fact. Fucking fact. And
That reminds me of that. Oh fuck! I can't believe you've done this. You ever seen that guy?
I can't be done this.
Yeah.
What's your number 2, Connor?
My number 2 is Resident Evil Code Veronica.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
That was a
Wow.
that game was hard. That game had like some of the like most fucked up puzzles of like, hey, go into this room in the island and grab that card and then walk over to the room on the other side of the island next to the helicopter and get that piece of plant and then take that to the mansion that's like 2 levels from now and put that inside and then you get 2 guns.
Was that
I've never heard anything good about that game.
Oh, it's
Wait, what?
It's like
Yeah, Code Veronica?
Yeah, I thought that was
like, go
hailed.
like best of evil games from what I understand. Because I'm like I love
Interesting.
4
Yeah.
and I've played 2 and I've not played 1.
I'd
But
say-
like a lot of people don't tend to mention it. I find.
Was it the one that you could unlock in Resident Evil 4?
I think it was in Resident Evil 4 as an unlock.
Yeah.
Code Veronica honestly is like I actually really I'm one of those weird people that really liked 5, but Code Veronica and
5's good.
I don't mind 5. Everyone was like, Sheva keeps like using my herbs. I'm like, well, don't get hit then.
yeah,
Easy.
or play with a buddy. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've heard it's a good co-op game, but not single
Yeah,
player.
that's definitely true. Like me and my
Okay.
buddy Nate would play Resident Evil 5 and it's like it's not a scary game. It's definitely an action game. So that's where a lot of the debate comes from. Is
I mean,
people want it to
The
be
voice acting is a bit scary.
Oh.
Jill, it's so good to see you again.
so-
Chris! Get
Chris!
in the face.
I mean,
Yeah.
Chris punches a boulder.
Yeah, he punches the rock.
It's the
He
best.
fucking John Cena's that bitch.
Yeah. Doesn't John Cena Chris Redfield?
I guess, yeah.
Yeah. I think
Either way,
I think Chris came first.
yeah, I think so. But Chris Redfield and Scooby Doo fucking threw a boulder.
Chris Redfield, man, like Wentworth Miller is one of my favorite actors, but when I found out he was cast as Chris Redfield in the Resident Evil movies, I was just like, huh.
Me and Nate thought it should have been John Cena as Chris Redfield. Like when we were like, he just
Like
looks
if they
him.
did it now, yeah.
Oh, man, he just looks like him.
Was
Like in at least how he does in 5.
he's the voice actor. He's the voice actor for Chris Redfield and Ezio from Assassin's Creed, and
Wow.
Batman in Origins. And you're like, huh, it's quite an
Interesting.
interesting variety.
All right, so I think we're up to the nitty gritty, or down to the nitty gritty.
Who is Desmond?
Who? What's your number one, boy?
My number one. Oh, are you ready for this?
Uh-oh.
My anus is ready, sir.
It's the only actual answer to the question that's valid, in my opinion, because I'm hoping to do a video about this next year. It's my sister's favorite game. It is by far the best game on the Dreamcast, and that game is Skies of Arcadia.
Whoa,
I was
that
really
was
hoping
on
you would say semen.
the Dreamcast.
Yeah,
It was
that was the
originally-
first time, and then it went on the GameCube after, and they were like, they have fingers now. It's like, brilliant.
Wasn't there a
We're
fantasy
moving
Star on
forward.
that?
Yeah, Fantasy
But
Star
yeah,
Online.
like
Yes.
Sky. God, I'm sweating. Like Skies of Arcadia, turn-based RPG about pirates who don't
Yeah.
sail the water; they sail in the sky in boats, and they have like different colored gemstones. They have magic. They have super moves. One of which is you crush your enemy with the moon.
Wow.
Impact. Get a through, you can find locations, and you can actually get discoveries. And there's a competitor called Domingo who also is like looking for these. There's loads of dialogue and morality options. There's like 3 extra squad mates. There's tons of like items and upgrades. You get your own island. You get to put birds on it. It's fantastic. It's the best cast game you'll ever buy. It's got a fantastic bunch of boss fights. You can have ship battles against big creature things and like evil pirates, and you can shoot them down, and you get a harpoon gun for your main little ship, and then you get a big one with a laser beam gun, and then like the final battle, the boss Galcian jumps off a naval armada ship, sword first, and just plummets and impales you from the top of the head to your. There's an enemy boss that pukes on you. There is so much good stuff in that game.
Wow.
Oh, sorry, I got a bit of.
No, it
I want
sounds
I want that on a
excellent.
cover, like Game of the Year edition. You could put birds on it.
Like, what kind of birds do you want on your island? I'm like, I want the exotic ones that cost more money, please. That was my.
I was gonna say I've never had the
crazy.
opportunity to play Skies of Arcadia, and you kind of just sold me on it. So I'm on eBay looking for a copy, and it's fucking expensive.
You can pirate
the
everything
thing.
on a Dreamcast.
I have the Dreamcast version because I found it in Jersey, which is next to Guernsey, for a tenner, and I was like, oh, I'm having that.
Ooh, nice.
And then they got the GameCube one; it was brand new, and everyone's like, "This looks shit." I'm like, "You're an
You
idiot."
don't understand. I can't
But
believe-
honestly, you only need to listen. Like the music in that game is one of the best soundtracks ever made. The intro theme alone, the main menu theme, is so good. It will like if you don't like the first track on the album, you have no humanity. It perfectly encapsulates the adventure and the spirit of the game. Just that 1 minute track from the first track of the album on
All right.
Spotify.
Will you play it, Connor?
Yes, that's it.
I think it's
What-
called like main theme or whatever it is.
just main
Skies of Arcadia main theme. Please play it because
It's like one.
because he's giving his heart out for the song.
right now I'm so excited to play this game now.
I
Like
know, I'm pumped.
I'm actually like I'm hard as a rock.
It's not it's the menu music. It's the one before. But that is.
So not this one. Maybe
No,
the
it's like-
opening theme. Let's try this one.
That one. Wait for this.
I'm getting the Willy Wonka feeling right now.
Love it. 10 out of 10.
Is he talking? Something's happening.
Grizzly, you still there, man?
Yeah, I'm here.
There he is.
Oh, I don't know what
He was
going
enjoying
on.
the music.
Yeah, I
No,
don't.
I heard like some noise from his mic, but it was really low, and I was like, "Wait, what happened?"
Yeah, man, it looks really good. It's one of those games I've heard a lot about, but man, you just sold me on top of already wanting to play it.
Like just the naval battles where you've got like an enemy captain and he's like, I'm going to kill you and nick your stuff. and you have your two ships circling each other, and you're firing cannons, and you're taking the wind into account, and then you're like, which direction are they going to go? Can I outflank them? Can I get behind them? And then the boss fights are iconic. There are like special treasure hunters in all the maps of the dungeons, and if you beat them all, he's called Bane, and then you fight Lord Bane, the King of Thieves, on the last dungeon. If you kill him, you get a ton of gold. And then there's like titles you can get, like you can get Vice, who's the main character. He can be called everything.
No, there he goes.
Make all the right dialogue choices. Kill every boss. Upgrade your ship fully. Find every crew member. And it's just, I could go on and on about that game. I will in one of my videos. But it's like honestly it's one of my top 5 favorite games of all time. That game is fantastic, and no one's bloody played it.
Play it.
I rest my case.
All right. Well, I guess I should go to my number
Yeah,
one
you have
now.
to follow that up.
Right? Jesus Christ.
Get out of here. Doesn't matter. It's not Skies of Arcadia. Get the fuck out.
Yeah, no, my number one is one that's been mentioned already.
Like 8 times.
Twice.
Say it.
Soul Calibur.
Marvel versus Capcom
I don't give
2.
a fuck.
Yeah. Thanks, Brandon.
You're welcome.
Marvel vs. Capcom 2 is a game I used to play a lot in arcades, and every time I would see it, I would want to play it, right? I played it for the first time at home on the Dreamcast at my American friend's Dakota's house.
Sounds Dakota, or I suppose Dakota. It's like Minnesota.
Yeah, exactly.
Or North Dakota, South Dakota.
Yeah, man. Just everything from the gigantic roster to the lyrics, the gigantic supers, the teams. It's something that I never personally played before to that level.
Yeah.
Like, everything that you wanted in a fighting game, it upped it. Oh, you're used to playing with 2 people, like X-Men versus Street Fighter? Well, here's 3. You want to use a super? Well, now they fill the entire fucking screen. Oh, 22 people on your roster? That's cute. Here's 76 motherfuckers right here. Right? 2 versions of Wolverine, Servbot, Blackheart, Chun-Li, Guile. If there's a person that in either universe, it's most likely in that game.
I think just seeing the image of it and then all of that and be like, yeah, you could play anyone on that poster. It's like, whoa, what?
Yeah, exactly. You know, like...
Can I play as Capcom?
I want to be Mega Man.
It's like one of those
Mega Man
things,
is-
like
I know.
Marvel vs. Capcom 2 is almost like a perfect Mugen game before
Oh, yeah.
Mugen was a thing. You know?
Yeah.
Because it just
Well,
had...
Mugen has been a thing for many, many years.
Yeah, I know, but I'm just saying,
Yeah.
like, it had one of those kind of rosters.
Definitely.
And on top of that, the actual gameplay is just really fun.
It's clean. Yeah,
Um,
there's nothing wrong with it.
No, not at all. Like, it was one of the first times I remember being able to use combos that are really heavy up in the air. Like, there was a huge whole dynamic between the bottom of the screen and the top of the screen, and it was just everything you'd want in a fighting game. And it's literally one of my favorite games of all time.
I was actually expecting you to put it as your number one because every time we talk about video games, you're like, oh, it controls like Marvel's Versus. And I'm like, wait, how does it control like Marvel Versus? There's like a ton of different control schemes in that game.
It's just, yeah, man.
But
Like,
I just know that you love it. So
Yeah.
I like totally saw this coming.
to me, every other fighting game needs to live up to Marvel vs. Capcom 2. Like, Marvel vs. Capcom 2 is where I compare other fighting games to.
I think Capcom needs to accept that Marvel vs. Capcom 2 is just that amazing and just throw Infinite back in the trash can and then just re-release
Wow.
Marvel vs.
The
Capcom
thing
2.
is, like Infinite
graphics.
has it's all about they've only put mainly characters in the films because they want to promote them. They've got similar likenesses to the actors because again, it's got an agenda. You know, they can't put in X-Men because Fox still owns the rights to the films, and that's why
Good.
they're not in the new game. It's like, oh, bit of a shame, really.
Yeah.
But they updated Marvel vs. Capcom 3 last year.
Yeah.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah, they had
It's-
the ultimate release. Or
Mhm.
You know, like, in Infinite, the ultimate thing that said that it was kind of lazy, which I don't think anyone disagrees that it's a fun game, like, to actually play. It's just that it's not a great version, is
I've heard
because
it's slow
what's his
and
name?
heavy.
Spencer is still in it.
I heard it's slow and heavy, and people
I-
didn't like that.
I feel like most 3D
Spencer's-
fighters are going to be like that, though.
Spencer is still in it.
Yeah.
He
Hmm.
from fucking that 360 game. I can't even remember with the grappling hook and the stupid ending where his
Just
wife
Cause.
is
Bionic Commando.
no, not
Bionic
Bionic
Commando.
Commando,
Yeah.
where his wife
yeah,
is the
Spencer.
arm.
The fuck?
You're like, oh yeah, that.
Yeah, in the very beginning of the game, they were like, "Oh yeah, my wife died." Blah 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 blah, and these people committed experiments on me. At the very end, you
Guess
find
what?
out,
She is my arm. Oh, cool, bro. It's like,
right? And it's just
nice
like,
one, Spencer.
no, like you've been using your wife to kill and murder all these people, and you're like, it's so fucking stupid.
It's like if he jerks off with his other arm, is that cheating?
Yeah, see, there it is.
All right, but anyway, that's my number one perfect game, like
That's
to me,
fantastic.
in terms of fighting. All right,
I'm
man.
bringing up
Wait
a
until you play
fighting
Skies
game.
of Arcadia.
Yeah.
I'm like, I don't need this shit anymore.
No, there's a lot of fighting games out right now, but the one that I really like is Skullgirls, and that's the one
That's really
that
good.
I'm still
can't really
waiting.
find one better than that.
I was like, I'm probably not even gonna have a Vita by the time the physical release from Limited Run Games comes. I have the Skullgirls thing I ordered.
Oh, do you?
Yeah,
That's
but
dope.
it got super delayed and pushed back. And
They did a really good mobile port though. Try it out.
All right,
They're
my
the
go.
same people that are doing Dragon Ball Fighters, aren't they?
Are they?
no,
No, that's the Guilty Gear people. I think
my
are doing.
bad, yeah,
Yeah,
Guilty Gear.
which
I knew it was
still.
one of those like big 2D kind of anime fighters.
Mhm.
yeah.
My number one, it's the one I consider the Dreamcast game. I don't know how fucking
Oh,
much I played this
I know
game.
what this is.
You know what it is?
I do.
What one is it?
I'm pretty confident that it's Crazy
It's
Taxi.
Crazy Motherfucking
Crazy.
Taxi.
Wow.
God
That's pretty good.
damn. Dude,
Yeah, it's okay. So it's Skies of Arcadia.
I mean, I mean, it's not like boats flying in the air shooting at each other.
It's not
It's
like
pretty good.
putting your own birds on there. But
You're
You know,
right.
Harpoon cannons shooting a four-headed mech being on a desert. It's pretty good.
You're right. It's a taxi fucking leaping 30 feet into the goddamn
This guy
air.
with green hair and
doing-
a really garish shirt. Like, yeah, it's pretty good.
Doing a 360-degree spin, landing on another
Hmm.
platform where you have to jump immediately. The challenge mode, oh my god, it gets so fucking ridiculous. I probably never even got anywhere near completing the whole like puzzle mode of that game, because like
I thought that was the Hardy Boys theme music.
and you were like, what?
yeah, it's hard to pull up a song for this game because it's like it's all licensed. Well, I guess it doesn't matter.
I like this. If you pull up Crazy Taxi full soundtrack, it's 9 minutes and 58 seconds because the rest is all licensed shit.
It's the
Nice.
Offspring and
Yeah.
Bad Religion, was it?
I think so.
I forget the punk band.
I didn't know there was a point to that game. I thought it was just to take people from point A to point B and fuck everything up.
There's like the arcade mode where you have to like go for like high scores, like you get to someone as fast as possible and like take the shortest route, which means running through parks and
Yes.
shit.
Good
That game
time.
would never fly nowadays with the, like all the fucking terrorist attacks,
Oh,
people
jeez.
driving through crowds. There's no fucking way.
Yeah,
I mean, Grand Theft Auto does it.
yeah, they get away with that.
Well, Grand Theft Auto just tells you to do whatever the hell you want.
They
I
really
guess that's
tell
true.
you,
I
they
guess that's
just
not
say-
the point of the game.
It doesn't
Yeah.
encourage you to
Okay,
drive
that's
through
fair.
public places.
It discourages you from ruining random citizens because the police go after you. So
Yeah.
That's fair.
Yeah,
Okay.
were there police in Crazy Taxi? I was so little. I probably shouldn't have been allowed to play this game.
You're probably driving them to the police station now.
Yeah.
That's the thing.
Yeah, it's like that is I put it on my top because that is the game that if I got a Dreamcast again, that's what I would play. It's the
And
game I would have
Skies
to
of
find to,
Arcadia,
like-
right?
Skies of Arcadia.
I guess now, yeah. And after hearing
pretty good.
someone gush over
It's
it,
all right. Surprised Phantasy Star Online didn't pop up on anybody's
I don't
list,
think
'cause
anybody
forgot
played
about
it.
that.
All
How
right.
did nobody play that? That's like one of the only games that I had one friend that had a Dreamcast. I think that's the only game he had.
All right, Connor. What's Oh wait, actually, before you finish your list.
you don't have to worry about too much on time because it.
Oh
goes
no, I was
at
gonna
the
say
end of the
really
hour.
quick, man. I have Bernard's list.
Oh.
Bernard is our normal engineer.
Oh,
yeah, I
yeah,
forgot.
gotcha.
I'm gonna go ahead and run through his list real quick. So honorable mention: emulated game disc due to nearly no piracy.
Yeah, you could have every. That's honestly, I got my I got a Dreamcast. Like I think my brother had one. I don't know, but I got one of my own years after the Dreamcast came out for $60.
Yeah.
and it had so many bootleg discs.
All right.
Well, I think it
Let me-
plays
let me-
PS1 games.
Let me go ahead and
Yeah,
blaze
that's cool.
through these. Number 5, Space Channel 5.
Oh, that's
Ooh La
great.
La
Yeah.
is amazing, and Space Michael Jackson
What?
cameo for the
Dude.
win.
oh yeah,
Shoot, dude, shoot.
His number 4 is Rez.
Oh yeah, I've heard of that one.
Oh yeah.
Really fun game. Number 3 is Typing of the Dead.
I didn't know that was
Ah.
on there.
Yeah.
He says best typing tutor ever. Number 2 for him is Soul Calibur. He just says play the adventure mode.
Oh,
And number 1, he Jet Grind Radio.
nice.
And
So
He got the word
he had it
wrong.
when it came
The
out.
grind again. Yeah.
Yeah, he was a launch day guy.
Yeah.
Ah.
So yeah, so, Space Channel 5 is one of those games I've always wanted to play, just
I
because
remember
I've
that.
heard a lot of really good things about it.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
It's pretty good.
It's an interesting one.
I mean,
You don't do an island.
space is higher than the sky.
You can't put birds on it.
If I was on a desert island and deserted island and I had that or Skies of Arcadia and I had that and I knew I could have had Skies of Arcadia, I'd probably walk into the ocean and just hold my breath. Just saying, I'd be like, yeah, I could play this for a few years, but what's the point?
I would eat
Might
the
as well just end it
sand.
now.
Alright.
Could have had Skies of Arcadia.
What's your number one, Connor?
I mean, it's been mentioned twice already. Soul Calibur.
Yeah,
Oh.
buddy.
I'm sure it's been mentioned 5 times by now.
Yeah, right.
Jesus
We've
Christ.
talked about this. This game fucking rules. Dude, I love Soul Calibur. It's the shit. I mean, I played 4 the most, honestly. I don't know. Maybe I played 2 of them. I don't know. I played all of them so much. Like, now that I'm thinking about my head, I've put so many hours into Soul Calibur, like, as a series. It's fucking good. I love it. I like the way how you mentioned earlier. The weapons. Like, the weapons is what really, like, set it apart from other fighters. Because I play fighters, and weapons made it awesome.
I
Cut
think
a man in the head with his katana, and he's like, yeah, brushes off, no problem.
Yeah.
until I found out that Soul Blade or whatever the fuck was a precursor to the series, I thought I'd played every Soul
Soul
Calibur
Edge.
game.
Get it right.
It was Soul Blade here.
No,
it said
it
on
was-
the article.
Whatever it was.
Oh, yeah,
It's one. It's so
great game, man. All right, so thank you. That's our top 5s, everybody.
Yeah.
That was super fun. We have a few minutes
Got like
left.
4.5 minutes.
All right, before you go, Grizzly, I'm gonna have to ask you to do something that's a little cringy. I'll let
okay.
you know ahead of time. Can you please say something along the lines of, "My name is the Grizzly Guernsey Gamer, and you're listening to the Kinda Gaming Show."
But any way you want to.
Yeah,
you can
in
spin it.
any way you want to, in any kind of smart
You
acid
can make
way.
it as English as you want.
You
so they
can,
do it very suave, like the.
yeah, you can say it's
Bond kind of
almost
thing.
as good as Skies of Arcadia. Whatever you want to say, man.
You can put birds on it.
Okay, so just repeat what you want me to say again. Just
My name is I'm the Grizzly Guernsey Gamer, and you're listening to the Kinda Gaming Show. But say it however you want to.
Okay, here we go. I'm Grizzly Guernsey Gamer, and you're listening to the Kinda Gaming Show. Ooh, how was that?
Perfect.
That was fucking hot.
Perfect. Yeah, man. I make
I
sure.
can hear your breast size from here.
Wow.
Wow.
Get it? Because I couldn't hear it, because it's a visual thing.
All right, man. So sincerely, I know it's really late where you are. So from everyone
No, it's
here,
early now.
well, I guess it's early now, really early where you are. Thanks for coming on, man, and hanging out.
I've had a lot of fun. If ever you want me back, I'll pop back for another one at some point. Maybe with a bit of a rest in between, but still.
Radical.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, man. That
Been great.
sounds great, dude. Hopefully we'll chat at you again soon. Okay.
All right.
All right.
Thanks, man.
Thanks, man.
Thanks for
Guernsey.
coming.
Guernsey. You're a
If I
gem.
could make a request. Do you want to? Could you play the Victory in Battle theme to end the show from Skies of Arcadia's album? Because that's a great way to end a show.
Yep.
Just
Yep.
to bring that point.
Connor can do that.
I'm pulling it up. The battle theme?
No,
Victory in
Victory theme.
30 disc 1, I think. The last one on the first disc, I think. Because now, like, I'm not going to go to sleep because
Victory
I'm
in
like thinking of
Battle.
Skies of Arcadia.
Is that it?
Is that the one we're talking about?
Guernsey?
I think he's gone.
Shows him is still online.
Yeah.
But his mic did keep messing up. So
For some reason, when we're playing stuff, it becomes impossible for us to hear him. Pause it real quick, Connor.
let's see.
All right. Are you back?
I am!
There.
Yeah, we can, for some
Is
reason.
that the song? Was that it?
That's the one.
That's
the
the
one?
one. Okay,
Very happy
we'll
man.
keep it going out of the end.
Yeah.
All right. Cool, man. Thanks so much.
No problem.
We love you. Bye bye.
All right. So he was about to say bye, all sexy like.
We've said bye a lot.
Yeah, so that's really cool. Some updates in terms of the show. Next week, I would like to talk about limited run games. They're going to start making Switch games.
Yeah.
There's that.
I'm
We're gonna be
excited.
counting down our top 5 N64 games.
Because we skipped it.
We did. I also want to say thank you to Kabook Games for sending us a code of Alchemist Castle. Haven't had a chance to play that. We are also on the list for LA Noire from Rockstar, the re-release. So want to say thank you to Rockstar.
Do we know which copy we're getting?
No, not yet.
No.
Do we know if we're getting one?
No, also not yet.
Yeah.
I just want to say
We're on
thank
the
you
list.
for responding because it's fucking Rockstar.
Yeah,
Fair enough.
big boys.
Yeah, and they were. I was sending out emails, and they got back to me within an hour. They're
That's
like, "Yeah, man,
crazy.
we'll go." Anyway, so from everyone here at the Kinda Gaming Show, we want to say thank you for listening this week, and we're gonna go ahead and close out the show with just listening to some fucking Skies of Arcadia.
Hell yeah. Yeah, because he's so pumped about
'Cause
this,
you
and
get
I
to
really
put
want to play it now.
Birds on things.
Grizzly Guernsey Gamer in the chat says, "Great show, 10 out of 10."
Woo! 10 out of 10.
10 out of 10.
Took it. He smelt it.
All right.
Tasted it.
Thanks
10 out of
everybody.
10.
Thanks
10 out of
everybody. See you guys next
10.
week.
Bye,
Bye.
everybody.
We can't keep quoting other YouTubers. 10 out of 10.